I think Bakshi sir is there, sir. Good morning, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, we will just start in 2 minutes.
Can't see Bakshi sir is, yeah.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. I checked.
Yeah.
Yes, I have joined. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Namaskar, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
There are around 50 participants,
Yes,
and we can start in time.
Fine, 1 or 2 minutes.
Right, the time is 5, so we shall start. Namaskar, sir.
नमस्कार.
कैसे हैं आप, sir?
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक.
Okay, sir, we'll start because the number of participants is above 50, and I think more will join soon. Yeah, it's 5, so we'll start.
We request all the participants to keep their, videos on.
Yes, sir, I will.
It is mandatory, I think.
I will remind them again. Yes, sir. So, with your permission, can I start?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. A very warm welcome to all the participants to this program, NEP Orientation and Sensitization Program, that is going to start from today till 12th July. This program is being organized by UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, which is located at SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. This, yes? All right. So UGC-MMTTC was earlier known as UGC GAD-TLC, and this is being organized under Ministry of Education, Government of India. The center for this program is located at Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Today, being the first day of this program, we seek blessings of Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second of the 10th Sikh Gurus, for the successful completion of this particular program. This program is being organized in the honor of Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Ji, and in the core committee of this program, for this program, we have participants who are administrators, teachers, research scholars, and participants from other professions as well, from all over India. And in the core committee of this program, we have Padma Bhushan Sardar Tirlochan Singh, Chairman, Governing Body, SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi; Professor Ved Prakash, former Chairman, University Grants Commission; Professor A.K. Bakshi, Founder, VC, PDM University, Bahadurgarh; Professor Jaswinder Singh, Vice Chancellor, Eternal University, Himachal Pradesh, and he was also former Principal, SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Professor Surinder Kaur, who is officiating principal of SGTB Khalsa College, and Professor Vimal Rar, who is program director of this UGC-MMTTC program, and she's a professor at the Department of Chemistry, SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. She's a member of the expert committee MMT program of UGC. So we all join in welcoming you by this, offering you this virtual bouquet of roses. And for beginning this program, we are going to have a look at this virtual lamp lighting, so that with the blessings of Goddess Saraswati, we are able to learn effectively in this program and able to deliver whatever is expected and whatever we learn in this program. So here we start Thank you. Today being the first day of this program, and we are fortunate enough to have Professor A.K. Bakshi for the first session of today being the first day, and he will deliver his talk on higher education and society, part 1. Before I request sir to deliver his talk, I would like to introduce, although he does not need any introduction, he's such a name in the field of academia that he does not need any introduction, but many participants who would probably not know him that well, and sir is going to be with us for other sessions also. So therefore, I will, although sir does not want any elaborate introduction, but you will have to excuse me, sir, for this, because many of the participants, I would like to introduce you to many of the new participants. Sir is a renowned academician, as you will, you already know, many of you would know, and you will also know after his talk, he really, we are very fortunate to have such people associated with this program. And he is definitely a renowned academician and a former Sir Shankar Lal Professor of Chemistry, Chair, University of Delhi. He's founding VC of PDM University, Bahadurgarh, Haryana. He's also been Executive Director of Tertiary Education Commission, Mauritius. That is a post for which he was selected through global selection. And he is also has been a Vice Chancellor of UP, Rajeshri Tandon Open University, Allahabad. And he's been head Department of Chemistry, Director CPDHE, Director ILLL of University of Delhi, and a visiting professor to Guru GGS University, IP University, that is located in Delhi. Then Professor Bakshi has been chairman of GAD-TLC. As I told you earlier, this program center was known as GAD-TLC, and a member of the standing committee of the National Mission on Education through ICT, Government of India. He was a chairman of the Content Advisory Committee for Chemistry, Sakshat. That's a portal that is there on MHRD website, Government of India. He's a double gold medalist, a record breaker, and a recipient of many awards and academic honors. He was felicitated 2 times for his outstanding contributions to education by former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He has been author and co-author of nearly 200 research papers, education articles, and he has won patent to his credit. He also has, to his credit, 11 books, either as author or as co-author, 51 e-books or books otherwise, and as editor, chairman, convener of the working group. And he has 63 e-modules, again as either co-author or author for PG chemistry courses, ARPIT program of MHRD. Professor Bakshi is one of the most sought after speakers in the country, who has delivered immensely in the last 4 years. It's like more than 400 invited talks during the last 4 years on different aspects of education at various national and international platforms. He's also been a member of National Writing Team for Chemistry of class 11 and 12 books of NCERT. Sir was elected as president of the Selection of Chemical Sciences of Indian Science Congress Association, ISCA, for the year 2011-12. He was also a member of various committees, which are the committees that are framed at national and international levels. Professor Bakshi was felicitated recently by Union Minister Srimati Smriti Zubin Irani for his outstanding contributions as chairman UGC. Chairman, this is GAD-TLC, which I told you is the earlier name for the same center, in professional development of teachers throughout the country. He is one of the first persons from universities in India to have been selected as a member scientist of 3rd Indian Research Expedition to Antarctica. This expedition built India's permanent base in Dakshin Gangotri in Antarctica. This is a brief introduction about Sir. With these words, I request Sir to deliver his talk. Over to you, Sir. I will just stop sharing. So give me a minute.
Is it okay?
So I have stopped sharing. Are you able to see your screen?
Thank you very much, Professor Babita Kaul, for your kind words of introduction. And I extend my warm greetings to all the participants from all over the country. I can see also Professor Sarita Passi. She is a member of the organizing team. She has also joined. And I extend my warm greetings to each one of you and welcome you to this NEP orientation and sensitization program, which is being organized by UGC-MMTTC at SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. See, this is a program which is mandatory for all teachers of the country who are in higher education. And the main purpose of this program is to apprise you with what all is said in NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020. So we will have in this program, which will be spread over 8 working days, we would have 16 lectures from different experts on different aspects of NEP 2020. Because there is a curriculum prescribed by UGC in this regard. So in that, today we are having the first lecture, and it's a great pleasure and a privilege for me to have this opportunity to deliver this inaugural talk, which will be mainly about the challenges in higher education in the 21st century. And before I start my talk, a small request to all of you, please keep your videos on, because as this is mandatory under the UGC regulations that all participants should attend this course with their videos on. And you know, our technical team keeps on taking many screenshots, and then there may be some problem with those who are not doing. So I think you will all do the needful and keep your videos on throughout all lectures. This is mandatory. This looks more lively. And then, you know, it looks like all of us are actively participating in this program. So anyway, thank you very much for doing the needful. And now I come to the talk, and for that, let me share my screen.
So I just need to make one announcement before you start.
Please.
This is like for all the participants that Professor Vimal is traveling, and she will be discussing about all the rules and regulations regarding this program in the second session. That's all, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So this is the title of my talk, and this talk will set the ball rolling for this program. And as you can see, the title is In the Light of NEP 2020, Empowering Teachers for Challenges in Higher Education in India in the 21st Century. So this will cover the entire higher education scenario and tell you about the various challenges which you are going to face in the years to come. And as it is shown in the slide on the left side, challenges are to be taken as the opportunities in disguise. So that's basically the thing you have to keep it in mind. And this is going to be a motivational talk for you based on NEP 2020, aimed at empowering higher education teachers to enable them to succeed and thrive in the 21st century. And believe you me, it can prove to be a game changer for each one of you. This entire talk is based on my conceptualization and experience, and will prepare you for facing the challenges in your profession as well as in your life. The thinking behind the talk is give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So that's going to be the thinking behind this entire talk. This will be mainly in two parts. In part A, I will just give a very brief introduction about NEP 2020 and then the traditional roles of teachers in higher education. About NEP 2020, I will like you to know what is the spirit behind the national education policy. Because everything we will keep on covering in various lectures. But what is the spirit behind the National Education Policy 2020? Before we go to that, please remember that this is an education policy. And you will all agree that education is relevant and of quality only when it is able to serve the needs of the changing society. Because society keeps on changing, needs of the society keep on changing, and therefore education should also keep on changing. Otherwise, it loses its relevance. And in the 21st century, world is changing very, very fast. And this change is mainly because of technological advancements. And therefore, education has to change. And this thing is very well kept in mind while developing NEP 2020. Therefore, this NEP 2020 proposes various reforms in education that are suited to 21st century needs. And this NEP 2020, if you look at this policy document, it is a visionary document which expresses the aspirations of the nation. And it aims at making India a global knowledge superpower and a global study destination. When we say global knowledge superpower, it means India should become a superpower not only in terms of knowledge dissemination, but also in terms of knowledge creation. That is research. And when we say global study destination, it means our higher educational institutions should be so good that learners from all over the globe come to India for their higher studies. So these are the two major goals. And NEP 2020 proposes to achieve these goals by making, education more holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary. These three are very important characteristics which it is going to introduce: holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary. And this entire policy is based on 5 pillars. And these 5 pillars are access, quality, equity, affordability, and accountability. I have written here 3AEQ: access, quality, equity, affordability, and accountability. So we will see that the policy basically aims at all these 5 pillars. Holistic development, you all know. It means the overall development of human. All our students should not only be developed physically, but emotionally, mentally, and socially as well. And when we say equity, it means education needs to be imparted with equity. Equity, you can see, is on the right side. Equality is on the left side. So equity means you have to be fair. You have to do social justice. So that is what is one of the pillars of NEP 2020. So why I am focusing on empowering teachers? The thinking is that the quality of an education system can never exceed the quality of its teachers. So if you want to raise the quality of an education system, you must raise the competence level of the teachers. Only then we will be able to have enhanced quality. That is the thinking behind this entire talk, which is aiming at empowering you. And once teachers are empowered, they in turn will empower their students. So let's empower teachers to support student learning. That's how you can view it. And please keep one thing in mind, that our greatest natural resource is the minds of our children. India is one of the youngest nations of the world. 50% population less than 25 years. 65% population less than 35 years. So it's a very big demographic dividend which India enjoys. And we should reap this. So we need to ready this young population for future. And to a great extent, responsibility rests with you, the teachers. And please remember, students may be 25% of our population, but then they are 100% of our future. Our entire future depends on them. And therefore, we have to take this education very seriously. Because, a child miseducated is a child lost. We cannot afford to lose even a single child. No talent of the country should go waste. That's basically the meaning. And we as teachers have to ensure this. So this was just a very brief outline of the spirit behind NEP 2020. Having said that, now I will come to the traditional roles of a teacher in higher education. You are all in higher education, these are the major roles: to disseminate knowledge, that is teaching, learning, then to create knowledge, that is research and guiding research, then academic administration and management, and then a teacher is expected to excel in all the three roles. Now, before I move further, let's be very clear that if you want to be an outstanding teacher or a researcher, you need to have a very sound and deep knowledge in your discipline. You should be very good in the practical skills. You should have clarity of concepts. And your teaching should reflect the amount of thinking you have done on the subject. See, it's very easy to say all this, but very difficult. Many of us sometimes may not be having a very deep knowledge. So this is very important. And then you should have the passion, because nothing great in this world has ever been achieved without passion. You should have the passion that, yes, I have to become an outstanding teacher or a researcher. And then, for an outstanding researcher, besides what I have already said, you need to be an out-of-box thinker. You should be innovative and creative. And you should have an analytical mind. You should have the ability to break a problem into various parts, analytical skills, and then connect them. And then 4 C's. 4 C's means curiosity, creativity, courage, and commitment. These 4 things are very important for a researcher. So all these one should have. And then both for an outstanding teacher and researcher, you should have excellent communication and presentation skills. Because every day you speak in the class. How well you speak, how well you convey your ideas, how well you present, how logically and systematically you speak. Because the way you speak, that reflects the way you think. So one should have excellent communication and presentation skills. Please remember, no one will really take the pains to listen to your ideas if your communication is not effective and impressive. You should make efforts. And if you have excellent communication and presentation skills, this can also help you in writing your academic research papers. There also you are, after all, communicate. So one should make effort. Please remember one thing, that all the great speakers were bad speakers at first. But then they worked hard and they reached to the top. So this is something, whatsoever I have told you, these are well-known things. But I am re-emphasizing because many of us lack in them. And that is the reason why we are not sometimes outstanding teachers or researchers. Having said that, now I will come to part B, where I will talk about what are going to be the challenges in the 21st century for higher education. So these challenges are going to be very important because all of you will have to face them. Therefore, you will have, I am in a way mentally preparing you for facing these challenges and finding a solution to them. See, first we will talk about the challenges of the present information age. We are living in an information age where you can get just any information by the click of a mouse. But then this information age poses certain challenges. For example, this is an age of uncertainty with respect to jobs. There is a future of jobs report published by the World Economic Forum, which ultimately says that we are not sure where our students will be employed tomorrow. Those jobs may not be even existing at present. So there is a lot of uncertainty with respect to the jobs. Then this is also an age of mass education. Every institution, every university is trying to increase the gross enrollment ratio. So this is an age where more students over the next 30 years will graduate than since the beginning of the recorded history. So what does it mean? That traditional jobs, as we will see, are becoming less and less, but the takers would be many. So that will create a tough competition in the years to come, especially in regard to traditional jobs. Because new types of jobs are coming. And then this is an age of artificial intelligence. This is an age where the artificial intelligence will equal the intelligence of the students by the time they finish their formal education. So the question is, if I can have machines with the same intelligence as you, then why do I need you? So that's going to be the challenge in future. And it's now widely believed that all those jobs which are repetitive or of predictable nature, which require no critical thinking, no critical analysis, no research base or no specialization, those jobs are going to be in danger. Either because of artificial intelligence or automation or robotics. See, future scenario will be like this. You can see robots are working along with humans if the job is repetitive. And here there is also a threat to the teaching profession if it is just repetitive. Even teaching profession may be under threat. And then it is now well said, this is the picture of the brain. Humans may not be required for the so-called left brain functions. Left brain functions are what? Language, numbers, analytical thinking, all those. Because anything which can be measured by numbers can be solved by AI models. So in future, focus is going to be more on right brain functions. And what are right brain functions? Creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, expression, all those. So you can see this is again because of artificial intelligence. And very recently, Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla and co-founder of OpenAI, he says that AI systems will soon be smarter than the smartest human on the earth, probably by next year or by 2026. So you can very well imagine where the world is moving. So in the light of all this, the challenge for a teacher is going to be what to teach, how to teach, so that our children are successful in a future which is so uncertain. So this was one major challenge which I wanted to tell you coming from information age. Second is sustainable development goals is also a worldwide problem. All over the world, there is a talk of sustainable development. This has become the burning issue in the world at present. What is sustainable development? Sustainable means something which can be maintained for a long period of time, especially keeping in view the future generations. And development is always economic development. So there is a lot of concern for sustainable development because, these are the issues which are coming in the way of sustainable development. And only education needs to address to these concerns. Look at this. Population is exploding. Today, world population is about 8 billion. By 2050, it will become 9.7 billion. So much population means a lot of pressure on the resources, fast depletion of resources, food, minerals, other natural resources. Then problem of water scarcity is going to be very acute in future. FAO report says that by 2025, 1.8 billion people will face acute water scarcity. Then there is a problem of environmental degradation, pollution in air. Then climate change. You all must have seen how climate is changing. Rising sea level and increase in atmospheric temperature. All these are the, issues which are of concern from the point of view of sustainable development. That was the reason why United Nations gave United Nations Agenda 2030. This agreement was signed in 2015. Under this agreement, United Nations gave 17 sustainable development goals. They are to be achieved by 2030 in next 6 years. But United Nations gave no roadmap because you cannot give a roadmap which is, applicable throughout the world because world is full of diversity and the nature of the problem varies from region to region. And 193 countries, including India, signed this agreement, United Nations Agenda 2030. And you can see these are the 17 goals on the right side. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, everything which comes. They are the real world problems. And these real world problems are complex. And if you want to solve them, you require knowledge of several different disciplines for their solution. That is why, these days people are talking about multidisciplinary education. Because look at the climate change, for example. Now, you cannot solve the problem of climate change just by knowledge of one discipline. You need knowledge of climatology, political science, economics, green technology, sociology. So you view from the lens of different disciplines the same problem and then come out with a solution. So the thinking behind multidisciplinary education is that it allows students to gain a deeper understanding of the subject matter through the lens of different disciplines. That's the thinking behind multidisciplinary education. And Prime Minister Modi, when this agreement was signed in 2015, he said, much of India's development agenda is mirrored in these goals. Most of our policies are aligned with that. Even G20 meeting, which we recently had in India, that is also committed to aligning its work with the agenda for sustainable development. So you can see the world policies, national policies, they are all aligned with these sustainable development goals. And one more thing, one of the goals is quality education, goal number 4. And it says, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities. So these words come: inclusive, equitable, quality education, and promoting lifelong learning. And one thing you will appreciate that this goal was given in 2015. And recently, when our NEP 2020 came, our various provisions of NEP 2020 are basically based on this goal of quality education. Again, it is aligned with that. So that is something you have to keep it in mind. So this is a second challenge. What is the challenge? How education can address to the real world problems which the humanity is facing and come out with their solution. That is basically the thing we want. Now I come to the third challenge. Third challenge is, what are the 21st century learning needs? See, it is said that in the 21st century, if you want to excel, you need at least two things. One is rigorous academic content. You should be very good in the subject. And the second is 21st century skills. 21st century skills are a set of abilities which everyone should have if they want to excel in the modern times. And these two things taken together constitute deeper learning. So this is a must for every individual, not only for your students, but for you also. And what are these 21st century skills? These are the 21st century skills. As you can see, they come under three categories: learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. Under learning skills, we have critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication, 4 C's. Under literacy skill, we have information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, IMT, I will say it. And under life skills, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. So these 12 skills are called 21st century skills. You may ask the question from where these came, who developed them. Many organizations worked together and they came out with these skills. And you know, anybody who has these skills, it elevates your job performance. And why these skills have become so important? Because you cannot have machines with these skills. Artificial intelligence cannot replicate them. You cannot have a machine which is critically thinking or which is having leadership quality. Therefore, you know, these skills are very, very important. And now these have been made a part of our education. That is why quality education in the 21st century is this. This is the most important slide. Quality education in the 21st century focuses on knowledge, disciplinary, interdisciplinary, and practical. Then 21st century skills, and then domain-specific skills. There are always some subject-specific skills also, which you should know. And then your personality, your values, your thinking, your traits. And these three things taken together determine your competence for any profession. That's why, you know, universities are now introducing skill enhancement courses to strengthen skill part. They are doing value-added courses to strengthen the personality part. Ultimately, aim is to improve or enhance your competence. So if you keep this slide in mind, I think this will cover everything. So the goal of quality education should be ultimately to acquire competence. And this summarizes it: knowledge, skills, and personality. This is important for teachers, students, everybody. See, when we were students, the focus was always on knowledge. Skills were not much talked about. And personality, they thought everybody has some personality. And some people even, took personality as your looks. That's not. But now these three things are important. The fourth challenge, which you have to keep it in mind as a teacher, is that there is a dearth or there is a need of creative and innovative minds in India. Because, you know, there is a crisis of innovation and creativity in Indian education system. No Indian scientist working in India has been able to get any Nobel Prize since 1930. C.V. Raman was the last person when he got Nobel Prize in physics for discovery of Raman effect. After that, no one has got. Nobody has ever got it in chemistry. Even these people who got Nobel Prizes, they were non-resident Indians. Then even Amartya Sen, who is a Nobel laureate in economics, but for years he has been staying abroad, although he is an Indian citizen. Even Abhijit Banerjee is an American citizen. So, the question is that you have to keep it in mind that Nobel Prize is not a lifetime achievement award. If you want to excel in research at that level, you need, amongst others, enormous amount of creativity and open-mindedness. This is sometimes missing in our students. We should be willing to collaborate. That also we have not been very good at. We look at every other person as a competitor. And then perseverance and resilience. We sometimes want immediate gain. That may not be possible. That is the reason why we are not able to excel in research at that level. And that is the reason why our ranking is so poor in the ranking of the Indian universities at the world level. One of the main reasons for poor ranking of our higher educational institutions is poor quality of our research programs. We focus more on quantity than on quality. And sometimes, I personally feel in science, from where I come, best students don't come to research. This is the report which was recently given in Rajya Sabha. The best of the science students are going to civil services, IAS, etc. So our most bright people go to civil services. This is between 2017 and 2021, 76% of those who were selected were from science stream. So why we are lacking in quality research? It is linked with our education system. There is something fundamentally wrong in our education system. And what is the fundamental flaw in our education system? Just watch this. This will throw light on that.
For decades, people have been finding hundreds of flaws in the education system. No conceptual understanding, no creativity, children are stressed, and the list goes on. All these are symptoms. But what is the root cause to all this? What is the fundamental flaw in the education system? Let us play a rapid-fire game. You have 1 second to answer every question. Let's start. First question. A4.
Sorry.
Let's play a rapid-fire game. You have 1 second to answer every question. Let's start. First question. A4. Okay, no more questions. Did you think Apple first? 98% of people are most likely to think so. Because that was what we were told in our kindergarten. Imagine that this was done differently. Say we had asked you for all the words starting with A. Ant, ace, April, apt. Different answers would have popped out of everyone's head. Do you see where the problem is? Before children start going to school, every child is unique. Every child thinks different. But the education system makes every child think the same. This is the fundamental flaw in the education system. Why did this start? During the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the education system was designed to make children ready to work in factories. The factories did not require people to think, but to only work like robots. So, the education system stripped children of their freedom to think and destroy their true potential. The same education system continues even today. Only the industries have changed. A study by NASA shows that 98% of children think different before they start going to school. As they go through this education system, at 25 years of age, only 2% think different, and 98% think the same. So how does the education system make every child the same? Let's go back to the apple example. Kindergarten lessons told us that A is for apple. We asked you for words that start with A. Our education system gave us the answers. We asked you a question. Answers make you the same. Questions make you different. Right from kindergarten, the education system keeps giving answers. Instead of asking children how plants make food, the science teacher gives you the definition of photosynthesis. Instead of asking them to describe the sun, the teacher tells them that the sun is a ball of fire at the center of the solar system. Through their years in school, children lose the capability to think on their own. Whether it is their choice of career or their relationship or any situation in life, they become.
So you can see how our education system, by giving, ready-made answers to the various questions, strip the children of their ability to think on their own. So how can they become, creative? So this is a serious drawback. And this is a lesson for all of us. Our education system, you will agree, is outdated and does not encourage thinking, innovation, and creativity among students. And without creativity, there can be no progress, because we will then just repeating the same pattern. And you know why I am sharing all this with you? Because we are all teachers. We have to think. Who will else think for us? And therefore, the next challenge is we need to enhance the quality of higher education imparted in India. This is the biggest challenge. See, in any education system, three things are very important, as you can see here. What do we teach? That is the curriculum. How do we teach? That is the pedagogy. And then how do we assess our students? Assessment. And if you look from this point of view, our education system, look at this. We have 21st century students, but sometimes we are teaching 19th century content. Methods of teaching are old. Assessment or courses, architecture, all old 20th century. We have not changed much with the changing times. That is why the problem is. Look at curriculum, for example. Curriculum means a total learning experience. What do we teach? And the biggest challenge to curriculum is coming from the growth of knowledge. The knowledge in all disciplines is growing very fast. So fast that the doubling time of the growth of knowledge has shrunk considerably. Shelf life of knowledge is becoming shorter day by day. See, there was a time when human knowledge was getting doubled in 150 years. But now it is getting doubled in 73 days. So what does it mean? That means the curriculum becomes outdated as soon as it is created. And therefore, what we know in any discipline is merely a drop, and what we do not know is an ocean. This is something you have to keep it in mind. That is why, NEP 2020 says we need to revise syllabi more frequently. We should have light syllabi so that students have more time for thinking. We should have modern syllabi. Because if we have outdated syllabi, outdated syllabi will always increase the gap between what is learned and what should be learned. And this will affect the quality of research also. That is the reason why we are not able to become leaders in many fields. This is one of the reasons. Our students have not been exposed to the latest developments. There is also a lack of coordination between school and higher education. See, he is Professor C.N.R. Rao. He once said, he's a Bharat Ratna, that 90% of the universities in India have outdated curriculum. So in the modern times, we need to have skill-based and industry-led curriculum. World is shifting towards skill-based economy, where the more focus will be on practical knowledge and hands-on experience. And teachers need to be trained. Now we have skill enhancement courses, but teachers teach skills the same way as they teach knowledge. This is wrong. Knowledge is theoretical knowing. Skills are practical doing. So we need different approaches for teaching them. Teachers need to be told that. And skills have become so important in the modern world that it is said, future belongs to those who learn more and more skills and combine them in creative ways. So you can see how the world is changing. It's a big challenge. And then we come to pedagogy. Pedagogy means how do you teach? That is, pedagogy is art and science of teaching. And we still follow sometimes mainly the talk and chalk method, which is a teacher-centric approach, mainly a monologue. You cannot explain many concepts on the board. Then it presumes that all students learn in identical fashion. That is not correct. Some may be slow, some may be fast, some may be average learners. You can't solve many problems in the class due to the paucity of time, and then it is slow and time consuming. And then, in our universities and colleges, we have very large classrooms, so many students in one class. You cannot pay attention to each individual. And therefore, the focus further on of this system is more on examination, rote learning, and scoring high marks. Very unfortunate. This is today's reality in every discipline. Nobody wants to learn concepts. Everybody wants to score 90 plus. Irony of our country is that we focus more on well-filled mind. Fill the minds of the people with more and more knowledge. That's not education. We need to focus more on well-formed mind, which comes out of thinking, innovation, and creativity. Because, education is not the learning of the facts. Education is the training of the mind to think. Because real education is that which transforms the learners. Just as a seed gets transformed to plant, a plant gets transformed to tree, the same thing should happen in our young children. That is why, people are now talking about learner-centric education. The thinking is, learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of the activity of the learners. You engage the learners. Involve them in activities. And when they do with their hand, they will never forget. So that is the thinking of learner-centric education. Students will learn best when they are engrossed in the topic, motivated to seek out new knowledge and skills, because they need them in order to solve the problems at hand. Let them find out what they need to solve. You help them, you guide them. Because we are living in an information age. You can get any information just very quickly. Experiential learning, for example, is a learner-centric education. You learn by doing. You do and you understand. That's the reason why fostering experiential learning and critical thinking among students is an important objective of NEP 2020. So learning by doing needs to be adopted at all levels, starting from school education. But who will change? Teachers will have to change. And learner-centric education is not any particular method of teaching. All these methods are learner-centric: problem-based learning, project-based learning, case studies, inquiry-based learning, flipped classroom model, then collaborative learning strategy, TPS, then community outreach, international travel, internship, UG research program, all come under learner-centric education. In each one of them, focus is on the student, focus is on the learner. Let them do the things. They will make mistakes, no problem, but then they will learn in the process. So in the learner-centric education, the roles of the learners are going to change from passive learner, what we had in teacher-centric talk and chalk method. Now they will become active, highly independent, and creative thinkers. That is what is the need of the hour. Look at these universities: Harvard, Stanford, Wharton. In all of them, focus is on case studies, experiential learning, project-based, problem-based, collaborative. Very little focus on lecture-based learning. In our country, we still focus more on lecture-based learning. We have not changed much with the changing times. Please remember, if we teach today's student as we taught yesterday, we are going to rob them of tomorrow. Teachers will have to change with the changing times. This was my article on creativity crisis in the Indian education system. It was in Education Times. This is about flipped classroom. We will talk about it later on. And third is, how do we assess our students? See, NEP 2020 says we need to transform the culture of assessment, the way we assess our students, because assessment drives learning. If you change the system of assessment, they will learn in a different way. That can be a good way to enhance the quality of education in the country. But then why we are not able to do it? Our examination system, if you look at this, it is still rote-based, mainly about textbook content, testing facts, definition, procedures, which are given in that book. Anything which comes from outside the textbook, people start protesting. They say it is out of syllabus, or even so many protests start. And then our traditional exam do not assess the skills which industry needs. There is no way to assess them. Therefore, assessment process needs to be made more scientific to encourage multiple skills of the students, like analytical thinking, critical thinking, conceptual clarity, etc. And in all this, teachers can play a very important role. See, we have about 4 crore students in higher education. They appear in various examinations. But generally, most of the teachers will set a new question paper based on last 4 or 5 years question paper. That's not the way. We will have to change. For example, cognitive learning, if you look, mental level learning, that is a 6-level hierarchy. So cognitive learning, according to revised Bloom's taxonomy, is a 6-level hierarchy. It starts from remembering at the bottom, then comes understanding, then comes application, analysis, evaluation, and at the top is creating. So these are the 6 learning outcomes of cognitive learning. Any learning takes you from lower order thinking skill to higher order thinking skill. So these are the 6 learning outcomes. So your assessment should also test all the 6 learning outcomes. That's not happening. We generally test the lower one, remembering, understanding, or application. Upper ones, higher order thinking skill questions are missing. That's why a problem is. See, ideal situation is like this. For lower order thinking skill, you can have MCQs, short question answer, match, fill in the blanks, numericals, okay. But for higher order thinking skills, you should have projects or internship or e-portfolios or field works. Then you will test the different Bloom's levels for cognitive domain. But we don't do that. Still, we may be knowing, but still we are not doing that. That's the problem. Now I come to the next 6th challenge, that you will all have to embrace technology and become tech savvy. This is another challenge for all the teachers. See, it's difficult to imagine education without technology in the 21st century. Even NEP 2020 says the relationship between technology and education at all levels is bidirectional. Technology enhances the quality of education, and enhanced quality of education then further helps you in improving the technology. They just feed on each other. And you all will agree that technology has changed the way education is imparted now. And most of this happened during Corona times. Look at this. Technology is totally changing the way education is imparted now. All this happened during Corona. Look at the teaching learning. Now we have e-learning MOOCs, PowerPoint presentations, very common. Experimental work is done using virtual labs. revision of syllabi, you can do very quickly through email, discussion forum, video conferencing. For research, so many ICT tools are available. They help you. Assessment is done online. Professional development of the teachers is now online. This program is online. And then so many ICT empowered pedagogies have come. You see, goals of education are the same, but the way education is imparted has changed. Again, because of technology. Therefore, the lesson is we will have to become tech savvy teachers. Being tech savvy is no longer optional for you. It's not a choice for you. It is a must. It is essential for providing high quality education, meeting the needs of modern students, and preparing them for a technology driven world. You may be in any age group. You may be even near retirement. You should still become tech savvy. Because sometimes there is a resistance to change. Oh, I am now going to retire. Why should I do? That's not. Because now the role of the teachers is changing. They are from knowledge givers. Now they are to be the facilitators of learning. There was a time when teachers were considered to be the source of knowledge. Not now. Now there are multiple sources of knowledge which are available. Teachers will now be like facilitators of learning. They will help them. They will guide them. But one thing you should remember, we are so much dependent on technology, but it should be used very carefully, because excessive use of technology by the students has impacted adversely their creativity. They have stopped thinking. Many students have stopped writing with their hand. That is becoming rarer. So that is the wrong thing. And then technology in education is a journey. Artificial intelligence is coming in a big way. This is redefining the education in the world. As a matter of fact, artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the way we teach, learn, and research. So what I mean to say is you all need to become tech savvy. There is no way out. But one thing you should remember, technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers is transformational. You should be a great teacher. When I say great teacher means you should remain in touch with your subject. Many teachers have stopped reading new books. They have their own notes which they keep on using for years and years. That will not work. And then you should also become tech savvy. That combination can do wonders. This was my report in Times of India, that technology won't replace teachers. And in the light of this, the roles of the teachers are now going to change. In the 21st century, the roles of the teachers are going to be different. Now you will have to become tech savvy, as I mentioned. You should have 21st century scale artificial intelligence skills. If students are enrolled in e-learning and MOOCs, you should know how to manage virtual classroom and discussion forum. If you want to clear their doubts, you should also need to engage students by learner-centric pedagogies. So you will become like a coach or a mentor or a facilitator. And then you should be proficient in the development of e-content and MOOCs. See, we have about 4,000 MOOCs on SWAYAM platform. Who has developed them? The teachers. You need to be very good in your paper, in your subject, and then you should have excellent writing skills that can help you. So, ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, a change of mindset is required. That's what I would say. Don't think that what I know is enough. No, I must learn more. There is a quote, birds born in a cage think flying is an illness. Mindset has to change. And the key to meeting various challenges in higher education in future lies in the regular empowerment of teachers. That's why I gave you this inaugural talk. And now I come to the last challenge, and that is some personality development tips for enhancing your competence. See, in one of my slides, I showed you this. Now, you are in the teaching profession, you teach, you do research. So if you want to enhance your competence, of course, you need knowledge, you need appropriate skills, but you also need personality. By personality, I mean a set of traits and behavior that characterize an individual. And sometimes, in our system or in many parts of the world, personality development has been neglected. And there is a report further personality. I mean here a set of traits and behavior that characterize an individual. Personality doesn't mean your looks. So let's be very clear about that. And this is a report that 87% of all people fail, not because of capability, but because of personality. And the worst part is they do not know that their personality is coming in the way of their job performance. This is the worst part. So personality is very important because personality will influence almost every aspect of human life. Your teaching, your research, your behavior, your dealing with other people, everywhere personality will come. Therefore, I want to give you some personality development tips in the form of life lessons to enhance your competence as a professional. The first thing is you should remember that life can only be understood backwards, but then it has to be lived forwards. Therefore, I am sharing with you some of my own experiences so that you can learn from them. There is a famous quote that you must learn from the experience or mistakes of others because you cannot live long enough to make all of them on your own. So this is one beautiful, slide where this grandma telling little girl that life looks like an eternity, but actually it is just a short trip. So make the best use of this trip. That's the message she wants to give. So the most important thing is we all should learn the art of living. We have come in this world to live. But the sad part is most of the people are only existing. Living has become rare. So just slide that way is important. Please remember you only live once. But if you do it right, I think one is more than enough. So art of living means capability to draw pleasure from life and to succeed in the greatest test called life. Life itself is a great test. You have to be successful in this. See, this was the report which recently came in Indian Express that India ranks 126th out of 143 nations in World Happiness Index. But it means was that most of the Indians are stressed. They are always thinking, they are always worried. Their attitude is so negative. They always think negative, that they are not happy. They are more worried about future. They spoil their present because of that. So this is a lesson for us. Please remember, you will never find a happy life. You will have to make it. There is no perfect life, but we can fill it with perfect moments. And The art of living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding on. Some things you will have to let go, some things you will have to stick on. That is what the art of living is. और एक बड़ी अच्छी कहावत है, दुनिया जिसे कहते हैं जादू का खिलौना है, मिल जाए तो मिट्टी है, खो जाए तो सोना। जो चीज नहीं मिलती उसी के पीछे लोग भागते हैं, जो है उसको भूल जाते। बट प्लीज रिमेंबर, लाइफ इज नेवर फेयर। जिंदगी बहुत कुछ देकर भी किसी ना किसी चीज के लिए फकीर बनाए रखती है। That's what the life is. No one will be fully contented. So, art of living is very important. And therefore, first step in this art of living is you should be proactive in life. Proactive means you focus on preparing well in advance. If you are reactive, you will end up focusing on repairing. So proactive people take action well in advance. They are able to control outcomes also because of that action. So be proactive in life, be alert what all can come. So do remedial measures well in advance. Proactive people don't wait for the ship to come in, they swim out to it. So this quality can be a big help to you if you are proactive in life. And then proactive pays you, but then you will have to come out of your comfort zone. Many people start living very soon in comfort zone. Oh, I am getting good salary, my wife, my husband getting good salary, children are well set, so why should I work? This type of attitude is also there. So that is a comfort zone. Please remember, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. It's only after you have stepped out of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. So you will have to come out of the comfort zone and then start working. And then work hard sensibly. This is another, my tip to you. You see, you have only one life. You have to make the full use of this. You have to manage your career very well. When I say sensibly means, direction is more important than speed. In what direction you are working for, that is very important. Of course, you are free to choose any direction, but then you will not be free from the consequences of your choice. So think carefully, plan your career carefully, and then start working in that direction. And please remember, life is a process. No one rises suddenly in this world, not even the sun. Once you have chosen the direction, be persistent, never give up attitude you should have, and then there will be no looking back. And then self-belief also pays you in this journey. Self-belief means believe in yourself. See, look at the quote. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch, but in her own wings. That sort of confidence you should have. And please remember, one who believes in himself has no need to convince others. So self-confidence is very important. And then self-discipline is a quality you should make. You know, I read the biographies of various people. They had this common quality, self-discipline. Self-discipline means mastery over your thoughts. If you can control what you think, you can always control what you do. This may look very difficult, but then in practice, through practice, you can achieve this. Because, you know, there is nothing in this world that can trouble you more than your own thoughts. And the heaviest burden that we carry in our head are our own thoughts. Cages are not made of iron, they are made of thoughts. You know, there is a report that an average person thinks 70,000 thoughts a day. So if you can control it, you can do anything. If you can learn self-control, you can master anything. Start practicing it. This will change your life. Self-control means mindset. See, brain is an organ, but inside the brain, there is mind, which is like a software. which you can control through practice. Then you will become the master of your life. That is why it said, master your mind, master your life. This is the mantra for all of you. And this self-control will also make you mentally tough. Sometimes you need to become mentally tough, especially in the face of adversity. So this will also help you in that. Then always strive for excellence. Excellence should be your keyword. This is a beautiful quote. A penguin can never be a giraffe. So try to be the best penguin you can be. You cannot be very good in every field. Whatsoever field you are good at, reach to the top. Every line needs top people. Please remember, if you are a teacher, become an outstanding teacher. You will be in demand. Researcher, outstanding researcher. Doctor, outstanding. Mediocrity won't help you anywhere. You have to outshine others. And then be positive and honest always. This is your own mindset. Always positive thinkers. Look at 11 getting out of 10. That's the height of positive thinking. Positive thinkers, you know, you will agree, you will have a solution for every problem. Negative thinkers will have a problem for every solution. And we meet such type of people in our day-to-day life. And then many of us sometimes, you know, are not able to take big steps because they fear failure. कहीं fail ना हो जाए. Overcome fear of failure. याद रखिए, जब तक तुम डरते रहोगे, तुम्हारी जिंदगी के फैसले कोई और लेता रहेगा. Overcome the fear of failure. Because these failures can be the pillars of success, depending on how you take them. And your attitude towards failure determines your altitude of. Again, attitude comes, mindset comes. So you can see your entire life is governed by your mindset, more or less. And then worry is also a very common problem in youngsters. Stop worrying and start living. Please remember that worry is a misuse of your imagination. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. And it's rightly said, one day you will look back and realize that you worry too much about things that don't really matter. But by that time would have gone and you cannot undo anything. The best way is you should worry only about the things which you can control. And what you can control is your attitude, your effort, your focus. Why to worry about things which are outside your control? What others will think, what will happen in future, what will be the opinions of others, what will be the actions of others? Why to bother? Let the life have its own way. You control what you can control. That's all. And then take risks in life. Calculated risks you can always take, because sometimes you need to lose small battles in order to win a war. Be courageous. And you know, here one small thing which I want all of you to have is create a sense of urgency in your life. See, if you look at the left side, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your home, it will take you 30 days. But if you give yourself 3 hours, it will take you 3 hours. The same applies to your goals, ambitions, and potential. You can create a new life for yourself by creating more urgency in your current life. Your total life will change, because otherwise work will always expand according to the time available. Create urgency. You are a man in a hurry. And then control anger. Anger is a normal emotion. Everybody gets angry, but it does you harm. So whenever you get angry, just think of this slide. The fire of anger burns you first. Just keep this thing in mind, you will not get angry. And never say mean words out of anger. Your anger will pass, but your mean words can scare a person for life. Use either kind words or be silent. You need a lot of strength to remain silent under such situations. And there is a one very famous quote from psychology. Psychology says that beneath anger, there is always some fear. Whenever you are angry, there is some fear in your mind. So you can control all that. और एक बड़ी यूजफुल टिप है, किसी पर ज्यादा नाराज होने से बेहतर है कि अपने जीवन में उसकी अहमियत को ही कम कर दो। माइंडसेट बदल दो, खत्म, ठीक है। कुछ कहने वगैरह से अच्छा यही है। So time management is ultimately very important. Everybody gets 24 hours a day. The richest man on the earth and the poorest man on the earth, they all have the 24 hours a day. The secret to success is how you manage that. So try to manage your time very well. This is a very famous quote from Amitabh. कल खो दिया आज के लिए, आज खो दिया कल के लिए, कभी जी ना सके हम आज, आज के लिए बीत रही है जिंदगी कल, आज और कल। ऐसे ही लाइफ खत्म हो जाएगी। लाइफ इज ग्रेजुअली स्लिपिंग अवे। सो प्लीज रिमेंबर, every day is once in a lifetime. So you need to invest your time and don't spend it. ये कहते हैं ना कि बंदी हैं हाथ पर सबके घड़ियां, मगर पकड़ में किसी के एक लम्हा भी नहीं। That's the reality of life. And then time spares no one. It changes everybody. Look at this, just a song from Bollywood.
समय की धारा में, समय की धारा में मरी बह जाती है, वो घड़ी पीने में, वो घड़ी पीने में वही रह जाती है।
Just see all these big film stars, so many fans, and see how time changes. So the message from here is also that you should learn to live in the moment, because the present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. Life becomes more meaningful when you realize the simple fact that you will never get the same moment. And then have a high opinion of yourself. This is also very important. Having a low opinion is not modesty, it's a self-destruction. Think high of yourself. It's a necessary precondition for happiness and success. Think high. Yes, why not? You may not be perfect in many things, but many things cannot be perfect without you also. So stay special in your own little ways. You are unique. Please remember that you are unique. No one can match you. And one more thing, never become arrogant in life. Sometimes a small success goes into a person's head and the person becomes arrogant. See, arrogance is the surest path to failure. और ये कोट याद कर लीजिए हमेशा, कभी किसी चीज का घमंड आ जाए तो शमशान का एक चक्कर लगा आना, तुमसे बेहतरीन लोग वहां राख बने पड़े। बस इसी को याद रखेंगे तो फिर आप कभी भी एरोगेंट नहीं होंगे। Remember, you are dust and to dust you will go. Keep this reality of life always in mind. और कहते हैं ना कि समय और भाग्य पर कभी अहंकार मत करो, क्योंकि ये दोनों परिवर्तनशील है, पता ही नहीं चलेगा, सब कुछ बदल जाएगा। होता है, बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं, हमें सभी का कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं लाइफ में एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा होता है। So ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, your biggest competition in all what I have said is with you. You should become the master of your mind, not the puppet of your mind. Be your own king, and you are a king if you know how to rule yourself. So learn to rule yourself. You don't have the problem. You are the problem. Mindset is the problem. Attitude is the problem. वो कहते हैं ना कि स्वर्ग भी तू है, नरक भी तू है, इन दोनों का फर्क भी तू। जिंदगी छोटी नहीं होती, लोग जीना ही देरी से शुरू करते हैं। जब तक रास्ते समझ में आते हैं तब तक लौटने का वक्त है। तो Message is it's never too late to be what you might have. That's the message you get from here. So challenges keep us fresh. There is a famous quote, a ship is safe in harbor, no doubt, but then that's not what ships are built for. Similarly, humans are not designed to be happy in status quo. So remain dissatisfied so that you can get better and better. Challenges are what keep us fresh. Don't take every challenge as a problem, take every problem as a challenge. एक बड़ा famous, Chinese challenges are of course the doorways to excellence. एक बहुत famous Chinese proverb है. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls while others build windmills. It's up to you how you make use of the opportunities. So this slide I added because this is the habits of the most successful people in the world from diverse fields. Adopt them: strategic planning and deliverance, laser-sharp focus and determination, risk-taking ability, courage, hard work and consistency, never give up attitude, and then health and fitness. Take care of your health because at one stage you may have everything, but health may let you down. Don't let that happen. So things end, people leave, time passes, memories fade, feelings change, and you know what? Life goes on. One day you will be just a memory for some people. Do your best to be a good one. And then, this is the last slide. जिंदगी के रंग मंच पर अपना किरदार इतनी शिद्दत से निभाएं कि पर्दा गिरने के बाद भी तालियां बजती रहें. क्यों? क्योंकि जिंदगी नहीं मिलेगी दोबारा. That's all what I want to say. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. I have told you about 8 major challenges which are there for you. Even personality development is a challenge for you. Because once you change your personality, as I said, your whole life will change. Therefore, take it as also a big professional challenge for you. So thank you very much. And if any question, any comment, any suggestion, you are most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. First of all, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, sir. There was one question in the Zoom chat. Just let me read out.
Let them speak.
Okay. So, dear participants, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question or any query or anything you want to discuss.
Any comment, any suggestion, you are most welcome.
So there is a comment by Shraddha. You can please take that up, Narendra ji.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check.
Shraddha. Is everybody unmuted? Can you unmute?
Yes. Sir, she has written, this is a wonderful session. I wish to raise a problem in schools. I have a paper on this problem. Schools have adopted EduComp and FlipLearn under the guise of introducing ICT, but provide pre-prepared answers to students. Are we not creating morons at the school level?
Yes. And
excuse me, sir. Excuse me. May I talk? That name has come wrongly. This is Dr. R. Rajeshwari. I think that's my niece's name already written. I'm very sorry. I couldn't remove that from there.
Please introduce yourself, madam.
My name is Dr. My name is Dr. R. Rajeshwari, English Department, Daulatram College, and this is my question. Shraddha is actually my niece. I'm a VI, so I couldn't change that name from there. I'm sorry about it.
No, it's okay. Please tell. What is your suggestion? What is your comment?
Actually, I worked with school students a lot earlier. So I think about 10 years back, almost all the schools introduced the EduComp and FlipLearn method of teaching them. And throughout India, even government schools, they introduced computer-aided technology so that to introduce ICT. They converted the classes they gave the complete syllabus to EduComp and FlipLearn. And they used to, the way I understood it from the teachers and the students is this, that they give all the material, that is the answers to questions. Questions may be put up by the teachers. The answers are given to them on the EduComp platform, and they are just sent to all the students to their email IDs, in fact. And they used to it's almost like a rote learning, and they used to answer that. So this probably because lessens the problem of correcting so many answers by the teacher. I don't know why it was introduced. I have no idea. So this way, are we not creating
Madam,
morons?
could you please wait? I think my next lecture within next 2 to 3 days will be on flipped classroom model.
Okay.
So whatsoever you are saying, all those things we will talk there in detail.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and then there, what are the challenges in that? I will talk at that stage. How ICT empowered pedagogies are implemented, including collaborative learning and flipped teaching. And there I will
Yes,
talk
sir.
about all the things. And I think your question will be more relevant for that talk. We can discuss it there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
My,
sir.
Thank you very much.
my
ma'am.
question, I'm Dr. Hemant Sharma.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir, I'm Dr. Hemant Sharma, Assistant Professor of Botany from Dayanand College, Hisar, Haryana.
Okay.
My question is that कि सर पहले गवर्नमेंट ऑफलाइन करवाती थी रिफ्रेशर ओरिएंटेशन या कोई भी प्रोग्राम करवाती थी, अब गवर्नमेंट ने ऑनलाइन सिस्टम शुरू कर दिया है, जबकि पहले एक दूसरे को हम समझ सकते थे, जान सकते थे, और जो कोलेबोरेशन होता था ऑफलाइन में वो मेरे ख्याल से ऑनलाइन में इतना नहीं है। क्या गवर्नमेंट को ये सब आगे शुरू कर सकती है या फिर ये ऑनलाइन ही चलता रहेगा? क्या वो ज्यादा बेटर नहीं था?
देखिए, दोनों सिस्टम्स की अपनी अपनी कुछ एडवांटेजेस हैं, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है, लेकिन ऑनलाइन ज्यादा कन्वीनियंट है। आज के युग में लोगों को कहीं आना जाना नहीं पड़ता, कहीं फिजिकल मोड में रहना, खर्चा भी कम है। तो उन सारे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन है सर्टेन एडवांटेजेस, लेकिन वो ड्रॉबैक एक ये है कि इम्पर्सनल है। यू आर लिसनिंग टू मी ओनली इन एन ऑनलाइन मोड, वी हैव नेवर मेट ईच अदर। तो वो जो एक पर्सनल या कांटेक्ट होता है, जो कम्युनिकेशन स्किल डेवलपमेंट होती हैं, जहाँ आप एक ग्रुप में सारे सुनते हैं लेक्चर को, वो चीजें जरूर मिसिंग हैं, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है, और ये थोड़े से ड्रॉबैक्स हैं। लेकिन अगर एडवांटेजेस के हिसाब से देखा जाए तो दीज एडवांटेजेस आउट नंबर द डिसएडवांटेजेस, and that is why this is becoming more and more popular. I fully agree with you whatsoever you said कि फिजिकल मोड में हम मिलते हैं, बात करते हैं, पर उसमें फिर खर्चा भी तो बहुत ज्यादा होता है। आजकल तो फिजिकल मोड में हमने ऑलमोस्ट बिल्कुल बहुत कम लेक्चर्स हमारे ऐसे होते हैं, हमने भी आना जाना कहीं बहुत कम कर दिया। लेकिन आपकी बात बिल्कुल ठीक है कि कुछ ना कुछ लिमिटेशंस जरूर हैं। और अब देखिए ना, इस समय हमारे पास इतने टीचर्स हैं, ऑल ओवर द कंट्री हैं, वो सारे इकट्ठे हैं। अगर वो सबको आना पड़े दिल्ली में, कहीं करना पड़े, तो कितना खर्चा, स्टे, तो वो लॉजिस्टिक्स पे ही इतना खर्चा हो जाता है कि वो एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज हो जाता है। बट योर कंसर्न इज जेन्युइन। एनीवे, थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir. Good
Hello,
evening,
hello,
everyone.
Vimal.
Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome from United States.
Thank you,
Good,
sir.
good morning to you, Vimal.
Yeah, thank you, Sarita. Hi, good evening, please. Thank you.
Yes, so one question is there in the Zoom chat by Kamaljeet Kaur, ma'am. How will NEP is going to solve all these issues?
Which issues? Ask, unmute her. Please unmute her.
Kamaljeet, ma'am, please unmute yourself. So she's not.
Yes.
I think.
Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Am I audible? Yes, I'm Dr. Kavaljeet from Punjab University, Chandigarh. Sir, it was an excellent session, very informative. I just wanted to know that how NEP will going to resolve all these issues which you have put so beautifully.
The NEP has told us that we need to follow all these things. For example, most important thing for a teacher is going to be the pedagogy, because curriculum is the same for all the teachers.
Yes, right.
Assessments are also generally the same, but
Right.
every teacher is unique for his or her class. The way one teaches, that makes a big difference. Now there are so many methods of teaching. Still many teachers are teaching by talk and chalk method, बोर्ड पे लिख के पढ़ाना। लेकिन NEP 2020 कहता है कि आपको लर्नर सेंट्रिक पेडागोजीज, प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड लर्निंग करिए, प्रोजेक्ट बेस्ड लर्निंग करिए, कोलैबोरेटिव लर्निंग करिए, फ्लिप्ड क्लासरूम मॉडल फॉलो करिए। लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा टीचर अभी भी फॉलो नहीं कर रहे।
Sir, even there are no facilities in the colleges, universities. No facilities are there.
नहीं, प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड और प्रोजेक्ट बेस्ड लर्निंग में क्या फैसिलिटी चाहिए?
No, जैसे ये in for example MOOCs, you know, we have not given any facility that how we can have recording and all these things for MOOCs.
नहीं मैडम, उसमें मूक्स जो हैं, वो जो मूक स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं, उसको आप एक्सेस करके 40% ऑफ द कोर्सेज इन ए सेमेस्टर आप कर सकते हैं. हाँ, टीचर्स ये कर सकते हैं कि जो उनकी यूनिवर्सिटी या कॉलेज के मूक के स्टूडेंट होंगे उनको सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. उनकी कोई क्वेरीज हो तो वो हेल्प कर सकते हैं.
But sir, the final MOOCs है, how we can have recording for that?
नहीं, you don't have to do any recording. All these UGC regulations are applicable by which a student can do 40% of the courses in a semester through MOOCs on SWIME platform. So you can select which courses you want to do and you can enroll there and you can learn. Yes, maximum can be that there can be many queries in your mind relating to the course. Those queries, you can certainly help your students in getting answers. That's what I mean. You don't have to do any recording. Through video conferencing, through so many ways. Next talk I will give on e-learning and MOOCs, where we will talk about all these things. So you are not going to develop MOOCs. You are facilitating your students who are enrolled in MOOCs and answering their queries if they have any. That's basically the thing. Thank you, madam. Which department you are, madam?
Economics. Economics.
Economics. Punjab University.
Yes, Punjab University.
Chandigarh.
Already I have attended many of your programs during COVID period.
No, my wife was there in Punjab
No,
University
ma'am, was-
Economics. Poonam Bakshi.
Okay, oh, I know her. Sir. I'm
Oh.
Dr. Kavaljeet. I know her also.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Bimal, then over
Thank
to
you. Thank
now.
you so much, sir, for your
Because it's already
excellent
time.
session.
So I think.
And
yes,
what I
ma'am,
will
yes.
add is, sir has given an overview and what is in store for you for the this and the next more 7 days, because it's a total 8 days program, that you will be now getting more in-depth understanding about the various things sir has talked about and how NEP talks about all these challenges to be taken up and how the teacher's role will be there to implement these. So thank you so much, sir, for giving this.
Thank you, Bimal, and all the best.
And let me give a formal vote of thanks, sir. So on behalf of GAD-MMTTC organizing team, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your enlightening session, sir, on higher education and society. Your unique approach, blending life quotes and real life examples, not only made the session profoundly informative, but also exceptionally engaging and interactive. Your insights have provided us with valuable perspectives on the pivotal role of education in shaping society. We are truly inspired by your depth of knowledge and your ability to connect complex concepts with everyday experiences, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for your contribution, as your contribution has undoubtedly enriched our understanding and will have a lasting impact on our professional and personal growth, sir.
Thank
you so much,
Narendra
sir.
ji.
Thank you once
so
again.
nice of you for your very nice words. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
So let me introduce Vimal ma'am formally. So let me share my screen first. I hope my screen is visible. Is it visible?
Now it's visible.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So, dear participants, now let's welcome eminent speaker and a renowned personality in education field, Professor Vimal Rar ma'am. She is going to deliver her session on curriculum development, pedagogy and assessment. Professor Vimal Rar ma'am is Program Director GAD-MMTTC. She is Professor, Department of Chemistry, SGTB, Khalsa College, University of Delhi. And now let me introduce her formally. Vimal ma'am is a leading women educator in the field of e-learning with an experience of more than 25 years, including a decade of experience in the corporate e-learning world. She is amongst the pioneers in implementing ICT in higher education in the country. She has to her credit many research papers, a patent, books, presentations, projects, and invited talks at local, national, and international forums. In the field of e-learning, Professor Rar ma'am has made a mark at the national level in various activities such as development of e-content, teachers e-kit, MOOCs, empowerment of teachers in ICT skills, introduction of newer teaching methodologies, etc. And the 4-quadrant format of e-content has been co-designed by her for e-PG Pathshala project of UGC. She has also authored around 400 modules of e-content in 4-quadrant format. At Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center of MHRD, Government of India, she has trained more than around 95,000 teachers, and GAD-TLC has been selected as Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center to conduct NEP and other trainings for all higher education teachers. At Center for E-Learning, SGTB Khalsa College, she has developed more than 50 MOOCs in 4-quadrant format for SWAYAM platform. She is the only chemistry teacher of the country to be awarded the National Resource Center of Chemistry of MHRD, Government of India, for developing ARPIT courses 3 times in a row for all chemistry teachers of India since 2018. She has been contributing to policy making at national level in various committees like Online Courses Regulations 2018 of UGC, E-Governance Committee, Technical Committee of National Academic Depository at UGC, and Expert Evaluation Committee for National Educational Alliance in Technology of AICTE. A recent feather in her cap is that she's a member expert committee for the capacity building of faculty members under Malviya Mission Teacher Training Program UGC, which will make guidelines and monitor the functioning of all 111 Malviya Mission Teacher Training Centers. Ma'am has been conferred with various awards like INSA Best Teacher Award 2020, Edupreneur Award by Minister of Education Bahrain, Delhi Ratan Award, Edupreneur Innovator Award, to name a few. So these are just some of the achievements we have told today. So we will now welcome Professor Vimal Rar ma'am for her session. So once again, welcome ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Narendrajit. Again, a very important part of our team from Kanya Mahavidyalaya Jalandhar. And I can see Professor Sarita Pasi also, my very dear friend and colleague from Zakir Hussain College, who are taking this along with many other organizing committee members. So Sarita is a great help to take these things further. And before I deliver my session, I'll be taking you through the important formalities, some guidelines that I like to share for the completion of this program, which is my responsibility as the program director of the center. So let me just share my screen. So I welcome each one of you in this NEP orientation and sensitization program. On behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, which is the center of Ministry of Education and UGC. Situated at my own premier institution, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, University of Delhi. And we seek blessings from Guru Angad Dev Ji, in whose honor we have kept this center's name and taking this legacy further. As a big team, at the national level, this scheme has been named in the honor of Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Ji. And I also deeply acknowledge the contribution and the guidance of the entire core team, right from Padma Bhushan Sardar Talochan Singh sir, who is the chairman governing body STTB Khalsa College, Professor Ved Prakash sir, former chairman UGC, Professor A.K. Bakshi sir, founder VC PDM University, former VC UPRTO, and you have heard about the detailed profile. He is now a very, very active team member from more than a decade with us. Professor Jaswinder Singh, who is Vice Chancellor Eternal University, and he is a former principal STTB Khalsa College. So when we started these centers, it was again in his leadership that we could take these centers further. And now I'm getting the similar support from Professor Surinder Kaur, my dear colleague from Botany Department, Khalsa College, who is officiating principal of SCTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. And I also acknowledge the contribution of all the organizing team members, especially Professor Sarita Pasi. And I welcome each one of you who have joined as participants, my dear colleagues from lovely part of our country, India. Welcome in this online mode, and where we can connect in the online mode, definitely not in the offline, but I'll brief you that there are offline events also that are being planned, and we have the funding for that as well. So GAD-MMTTC or UGC-MMTTC has a state-of-art infrastructure in terms of providing training to the teachers, especially our core expertise, as you can see from the profile of Professor Bakshi sir, myself. We all have been involved in the e-learning and e-content and MOOCs preparation. So at Center for E-Learning, when we started creating the e-content, rather than the model where we outsource the content development, we created our own studio. We had our own technical team, and all the teachers along with this, we had more than 2,000 teachers who contributed. We could prepare the content which actually made the standards, and even the 4-quadrant e-content template which was designed was accepted by UGC, and all other subjects also followed that. So we successfully completed these 6 subjects, and all this content is available on inflibnet.ac.in. So you can use this content. This is already available since 2013 to 2016. We did this massive effort, and you can see which modules will fit into the flipped classroom, which was being mentioned by Professor Bakshi, and we'll be talking more about that as well. This is my own concept, which is Teachers E-Kit. And here again, this is the 4-quadrant module where you can, as a team of teachers, this is not given to a single teacher or single module. So a group of teachers can form a team, and in my sessions further, I'll be talking briefly more about this. So those who are interested, this is a voluntary activity, and they can contribute that how the newer pedagogies, when we talk about the blended learning, or what technology tools can be used with your own subject. So every topic, every subject, these things in the light of outcome-based education and NEP 2020, they need to be now designed, and our sessions will be guiding you through these, and then you can be innovative and see how it can be implemented in your own topic and subject and contribute towards this as well. From 2016 to 2020, we have been doing offline activities only. But in April 2020, when there was no option due to the corona pandemic, we were again the front runners hand-holding the teachers for using these technology tools. मुझे याद है कि even for the Zoom, the screen share and all, we used to tell teachers in our FDPs. And I'm happy to see that now almost all the teachers have been tech savvy in order to attend these programs online. But then there's more which need to be done for the structured blended learning to be adopted in the classroom methods. And happy to share that now more than 95,000 teachers, and the number is growing every batch. Every month we are having at least 5-6 programs, many directly and many as collaborative events as well. We also had the mandate of ARPIT, and 2018, 19, 20, we conducted this ARPIT chemistry. And this was the time when this was a pre-corona phase. And again, out of 42 subjects, our chemistry content was rated the best, not only in terms of the quality, but also in terms of the enrollment and the feedback that was given. Almost more than 15 years now, we have been working as a team, and GAD-TLC was selected as one of the 45 PMMT centers and awarded as Malve Mission Center to conduct the NEP trainings for 15 lakh higher education teachers. So now you should all understand the structure that in any promotional requirement or even otherwise for NAC and other requirement, now there are not 2 different type of structures or the naming of the centers, because prior to this they were UGCs, HRDCs, And there was a scheme of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, which was from 2015 onwards. Now, all of them, the selected ones from PMMT and all the UGC HRDCs are brought together and they are called as Malviya Mission Teacher Training Centers. And the vision of this new phase is to build competencies in the faculty for better teaching, learning, and research by exposing them to Indian values, updating knowledge and skills, and aligning teaching, learning, and research with the needs of the society and NEP 2020. So it says it all. So all the things which are being now covered in the ambit of NEP 2020 being implemented, whether they are the policy documents or there are the new verticals, uh, you all will be given awareness about these. And then once you know how you can proceed, just introspect yourself and also see what are your areas of interest that, okay, I want to learn more about the technology, but then I think I have not being exposed to this. So there'll be so many programs which will be conducted under various themes which you have been told. So not every center will be conducting all the program, but different centers having their different expertise will be conducting, so you can identify where you fit into the requirement and take. But then many times what happens is some institutions want that we want all the teachers to be trained into that, and now there are limited seats in every batch. We have been given an upper cap in the online. So then we also conduct some institutional collaborative programs with certain guidelines that we follow and that we tell. So those who are interested, they can approach us for that as well. So now, as on date, there are 116 MMTTs which are conducting these NEP orientation and sensitization program, which is the flagship program of Government of India. And the aim is that all the 15 lakh teachers should be trained within next 3 years. And every center is conducting 2 batches every month. But the timing that our center is selected is teacher centric, I will say, because in spite of many times the teachers don't get leave, and they are definitely having their other commitments, professional as well as personal. So 5 to 8 p.m. is something we thought it will be more convenient for the teachers that they can manage their other roles as well. But faculty induction program and refresher program, we are strictly taking it as a duty leave program. It is a full 1 month program if it is FIP, and then refresher course is a 2 week program. FDP is the 6 days, so that we make it flexible sometimes. Rather than 6 days, full days, we take it to 9 or 8 days and accordingly meet the requirement where even the without teachers having duty leave can also join in the online. But if it is offline, we'll be making it as a strict 6 days program and the teachers have to come with a duty leave only. So in this very particular batch, which is NEP orientation, there is no duty leave required, no NOC required from the institution, and you can directly join here. Fine. So I think we should make the things more clear from the technical requirement point of view as well. In this NEP training and sensitization program, it is a 8 days program and there will be 2 sessions in each day. This is how the structure has been fixed by UGC, that there will be 3 hours, 2 programs, 2 sessions and 8 days. So in these 8 days, earlier UGC started with 8 modules, but later on I was also the member of the 4-member committee headed by Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, where I was representing all the MMTTCs, and it was decided that 2 more modules will be added, which is autonomy to the institution and choice to the student, and curriculum development, pedagogy, and assessment. So I'll be taking this module 10, which will be covered today, and in one more session that will be tomorrow. So rest you have holistic and multidisciplinary education, Indian knowledge system and multilingualism, academic leadership, governance and management, higher education and society, research and development, skill development, student diversity and inclusive education, information and communication technology, and these 2 I already mentioned. And the quiz date will be, we always keep it as a Sunday, so you can write it down that the quiz for your batch will be happening on 14th July. that is Sunday. So anytime between 10 a.m. and 11 p.m. you can conduct the attempt the two quizzes. So what are the overall parameters for completion of this program? There will be two online quizzes. Each will be having 40 questions. So 40 marks, fine. And they will be based on, the quiz 1 will be based on module 1 to 4 and the module 9. And the quiz 2 will be based on module 5 to 8 and 10. And in addition, there will be attendance and participation, which actually we will be looking at first. If that is not being complied with, if you attempt the quiz and clear it, we will not be considering. So you have to be attentive in all the sessions. You have to join your sessions with your videos on, unless or until there is some urgency, which you can write to us through mail. So the attendance will be taken by Zoom by automatic backend as admin will take. So don't write your names and institution as a chat part. Our team is more tech savvy. We don't do the manual work. So when you join in, please rename. If you sometime you join with your phone name or your gadget name, please rename with your name. So I will say that join with your email or the registered phone number, which is automatically then taken at the back end. But if you have not done so, if you have taken some of your family member or otherwise some Zoom already logged in, please rename yourself so that the attendance is there. In addition to that, we'll also be looking at the feedback analysis. So be attentive in all the session and keep on writing notes. It will help you in the quizzes because no recorded sessions will be given as per the UGC guidelines for this session. Other FDPs and refresher course, we give the recorded session also till the quizzes are done. But here, there will not be repetition and there will be only one more chance which will be given for another batch to reattempt the quiz. So you can join with your particular names or the phone number. But on Zoom, please you rename yourself as the proper name. And I'm repeating this again. Please, these are the strict compliance that we have to meet. My team will be taking the screenshots off and on randomly. And as per the UGC guidelines, it is mandatory for all the participants of this program to attend the sessions, that is 16 in all, in time and with their videos on. And cooperation of all the participants in this regard is solicited. Failure to do so may disqualify a participant for the certificate of this program, and the decision of director, that's myself, will be final and binding. So these are the, you can take the screenshot. We'll try to cover, in some topics, we'll see that there is one sessions, in some there will be two, some there will be three. ICT will be putting more emphasis because that is something which is, we have taken feedback from our earlier session also, batches, and we found that one hands-on session is also desired, so that we have added from last few batches. So please fill the feedback form also. The feedback today, my team will be sharing it in the WhatsApp also, but from tomorrow onwards, it will be strictly given in the Zoom chat only. So every session will be having a feedback form. So don't miss any of the feedback form. And there will be a placeholder where you have to write the 3 takeaways to be written, and that will be reading for giving you the marks. But then marks, let me go back to this slide. Overall, there are 100 now. Out of which the qualifying marks is 50. And it was clearly discussed in our committee as well as the ministry PAB as well, that unlike the other FDP programs, you all should understand, even if you're not required to go into that level, if you're already seniors. See, one thing is NEP, this program should be attended by each and everyone, irrespective of whether they are professors or even holding some position of a dean or head of the department or even vice chancellor, because for vice chancellor also the NEP batches are being conducted specially. And UGC is calling meetings of vice chancellors and all the principals to take that how many teachers have attended. And as you go through this program, you will understand that there is a need of everyone to understand, because mostly the changes which are being done in the committees and all, they are the senior persons. And if they are not aware, then the NEP implementation will not be in the right stage. So it was consciously decided that here we will be doing the marking till 50, but the grades will not be mentioned in the certificate. So as a gesture to all our senior colleagues, that no grades will be mentioned, but then this certificate will be only given if they are qualifying that. And sometimes if the teachers are not able to give that quiz, my team will contact and you'll be given one more attempt to do that in our next batch. So there will be slight variation because sometimes the delivery of the session, you will have some speaker change or something. But I think if that is manageable, then we give one more chance to the. But then this program is also equivalent to the FDP required for the promotional requirement for our younger colleagues. So there also it is not mentioned for this batch, but other faculty induction program, FDPs and refresher courses, as per the UGC guidelines, there are A+, A, B and other grades which are clearly mentioned, which are based on different marking, like between this range to this range, then it will be A+ and so on. But here it will not be mentioned, and it will automatically mean if you're getting certificate, you have scored more than 50. So I wanted to make this thing very clear to all of you. And this is how the certificate will look like. So this is our earlier one, that template. So this is the UGC template, and you will be given a certificate having a unique code for each particular batch. And before now I start my session, I'll also write to mention this disclaimer that the copyright of the session, whoever is delivering, is of the respective speakers. And without a prior written consent of the respective speaker, you may not use or upload or stream his or her content either or as full video or a screenshot or partially or publish in any other form. So please do not do that. And we should be honoring these particular very important ethical things as we go further. And neither the institution has the copyright. So even we will not be using it further without their permission. And now let me take you to the session that I wish to start, and I told you that it will be done in 2 parts. So just a minute, let me open my other. Okay. I hope my screen is visible again.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I am keeping my chat open and visible to me. So any thoughts coming to your mind, you can please mention. And before that, I can see Dr. Rupa asking, can FDP for 5 days, 1 hour suffice? No, FDP now, as per the new guidelines, it is of a 6 days and 36 hours. Okay, so it cannot be just a 5 days thing. You all should be aware, and when you join, if they are not meeting that criteria, then it will not be useful for you. But anyhow, the learning of any type of program, I will say, whether it is 1 hour or 1 week and all, you should be leaving no opportunity to keep on learning. Now, coming back here, let's start with the curriculum development, pedagogy, and assessment. Now, how I have structured my talk is the today's talk and the tomorrow's will be that in the light of NEP 2020, we have to be looking into all these aspects, and where this curriculum development, the pedagogy and assessment fits into, I'll also put it into the this structure. Any NEP batch that your institution is starting, I am aware that many institutions have already started this, and you must be in already second year or third year of these batches. But then we have to follow the overall structure, keeping in mind this national credit framework. Can I see your responses that how many of you have read this document, and especially this NHEQF, which is National Higher Education Qualification Framework? Have you read this document? Can you simply write, be honest, yes or no? Accordingly, I'll be putting more or less time on that very brief aspect. Yes, can I get some replies? Okay, thank you. In Maharashtra, this is the first year. Fine. Okay. Okay. So I'll try, because see, the very first thing which any institution will do is the restructuring of the existing courses. So, and as I told you, it is mostly done by the senior members. So they should be aware about what all this is done. And if not, they should be going into detail of this document. That's point number one. Now, once the broad structure in 4 year, that which in first semester, which in second semester, third, fourth, how it will be done in each course. Now, course is equivalent to a paper. We should all now try to have the similar nomenclature. कहीं किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में पेपर बोलते हैं, कहीं कोर्स बोलते हैं. So now we are calling all of them as courses. So one semester will have many courses, one credit course, 2 credit course, 4 credit course, and so on. But each of this course should be aligned when you're designing the curriculum with the outcome-based education. So some light I will throw on the outcome-based education, although those who are not aware about the COPO mapping, I'll be briefly touching. So if you get a chance on attending some FDP on outcome-based education, that is something to be done very, very urgently, because NAC and all other parameters, they are looking for this particular format of curriculum as well as the implementation. The moment the courses structure, the curriculum is ready, it comes on all of us as teachers that what are the teaching learning methodologies that we are adopting. So that's where the learner-centric, ICT empowered, the blended learning, all this, which partially Professor Bakshi sir will be covering, and I'll be giving you one particular model in slight tail and trying to connect. But the moment we talk about the blended learning cannot be done unless or until you have some e-content with you, whether it is taken as a part of the MOOCs which are existing, some open educational resources, or even if you have, now many universities have started the fully online programs as per the UGC regulation, then how this e-content has to be designed for that. And if nothing is available, then also don't worry, because you can prepare your own content for your blended learning, and that is something that we'll be trying to understand what is the emphasis of NEP on this study. And here again in e-content, this is again our expert area that we keep on conducting FDPs in detail. Without the studio, you can make your own content with just the laptop and knowing these tools. So we train teachers into that aspect as well. But briefly, I'll be touching about what is this 4-quadrant model and how this is ensuring the uniformity in terms of the standardization and as per the requirement of the guidelines of SWAYAM. Then we have the assessment part. The multiple assessment methods have to be now looked up, not simply the paper pencil mode, which are more inclined to the rote learning. So how the different assessment methods have to be scientific and technology empowered. And these two parts I'll be covering in my next session, which will be tomorrow. And once we are done with this, as institutions, we should also look at the gap analysis, that if you have really done the COPO mapping of every assessment and every course, then once you do the gap analysis, you should be able to do this periodic review and see what are the attributes my students are missing into the outcome-based education, and then talk to the industry expert that what are the skill sets required. And then this has to be a continuous process. So for the next batch, you again see in the credit framework what all can be changed, keeping this overall framework in mind and going ahead. So this is how I'm going to structure my talk. So let's get started with the very first thing, which is overall credit framework. Now, this National Credit Framework, which is NCRF document, this is a single document which is now will be giving you a structure right from school education to higher education, that how the credits can be given. So yes, I am repeating, this is right from class 6 onwards, the credit structure will be there. And don't try to take this program just to make yourself that okay for our institution. This is Ansari, why is not available on YouTube? No, this is not available on YouTube. This is getting live only recording. Fine. So let me get back here. Now, this is a document where the school education and higher education, all the regulatory bodies and the ministries, even in the skill ministry and all, they have come together. But then after this, the school education and higher education, they need to be treated slightly different. So there is another document which is in our public domain. And this is something which I'll request all of you to please read. Any higher education institution, if they have to implement NEP, the very first document which should be referred is this National Higher Education Qualification Framework. And I'll be touching upon very important points from this very particular document. Actually, both of these documents are the implementation strategies which are provided and how the NEP is looking for equivalence between general education and vocational education, or the multiple entry, multiple exit, and about the flexibility and mobility. Now, this you have to try to understand not at your institution level, but at the national and the global level as well. Because when you talk about a school student, those who are already into NEP structure, they will see ये skill courses आ गए हैं, value education, value added courses आ गए हैं. Now, why is the need of that? Especially in the light of vocational education or the skill courses, you will agree with me that our entire society is not made ready to accept that if there is an engineer who doesn't even know how to put a fuse is rated better rather than a person who has done some vocational skill training from the vocational institutions, but they are not taken equally either by the society or by the employers in terms of the salary package and other perks they are given. But this is not the case at the global level. Any course they do, any skill, and the employability, it has to be equal. So in that effort, that the general education should be provided skill component and vice versa. So now there is a provision that even from a vocational institution, if the student does 1 semester or 2 semester, then they can also pursue engineering and get that degree. So all that was not possible before NEP. So this is a effort which has been trying to do so in a different way. Till now, we will be having again rather 2 sessions on skill development, where we'll be focusing on how the skills can be earned, and all these courses have to be aligned with the National Skill Qualification Framework and so on. Other thing that we have to understand is in terms of multiple entry and multiple exit. Now the students in a broad NEP, if you look at the overview, that the students can exit anytime in between and re-enter in the same or in other institution as well, not only at the national level, but at the global level. So if there is not a uniform structure, कहीं पे एनुअल चल रहा है, कहीं पे सेमेस्टर चल रहा है, और कहीं पे सेमेस्टर में 12 घंटे का क्रेडिट है, एक कहीं पे 20 घंटे का क्रेडिट है, so then that is not a uniform. So what this structure is telling us is that we have to keep the same amount of the learning to the learner when we are giving them the credit, more so. बिल्कुल माइन्यूट लेवल पे तो सेम नहीं हो सकता है, बट इट कैन नॉट बी सो मच वेरिएशन दैट समवेयर 20 hours effort is giving 1 credit, or somewhere 30 hours is giving, or somewhere 40 hours is giving. So that is something that we have to now understand. So I will ask you one question here. Wherever you are, how much should be 1 credit equivalent to how many hours from the learner's point of view? Can we put it somewhere? Kamaljeet ma'am is saying 20, 15 to 1 hour, 1 hour per week, or I'm asking overall in one semester. When you give one credit to any student, how much time the student should have invested? So these answers themselves, you see that there is a non-uniformity and we need to go into this structure. And let me try to make a effort in this direction. The credits are defined how? Let's also look at that. Credits are a function of achieving the desired learning outcomes for a program or course or training determined by the successful assessment. Now, this is very important for all of us to understand is that learning outcomes. So, credits will be assigned to a curriculum having learning outcomes and the corresponding successful assessment of the student. Fine. So learning outcomes and assessment, they go hand in hand, and this definition itself form the basis of outcome-based education. If you look from the credit from different perspective, this is also mentioned in this document, that credit is recognition that a learner has completed a prior course of learning corresponding to a qualification at a given level. Now, this is what in the certificates which will be mentioned that the student had earned so many credits at this particular level, they will be able to go into different entries. So from here to here and to other institution and come back. And so even whether it is MOOCs credit being earned or other way around, so all those can be mix and match and taken further. So I see the second definition more from the multiple entry, multiple exit point of view, it will be helping the institution. But the first one is taking us towards the outcome-based education and how the credit should be really given to the students in a qualitative manner, where not only the knowledge, but skills and abilities all go hand in hand. In this document, one credit is defined as 30 notional learning hours. But then we have to differentiate. Are these teaching hours or they are learning hours? Fine. And let me explain this where all of us should be. And this is सबसे important चीज है, because when we make any structure or thing, this uniformity should be there. And this, what I have done is from the National Credit Framework document for the general education credit, I have taken this screenshot. So I am trying to explain this part to all of you. And we'll start with theory where most of us are already following. ऐसा नहीं है बहुत ज़्यादा variation नहीं कर रहे हम. So we will be easy to adapt to this. For a theory paper, one credit is equivalent to 15 hours of classroom teaching, or when you make a timetable. And normally one semester has 15 weeks. So when you want to put 15 hours in a semester, obviously you put 1 hour in a week, and that's why your period, one period is equivalent to 1 hour. कुछ recall करेंगे, especially मेरे senior colleagues या मेरे हम उम्र, तो पहले 40 मिनट का भी 50 मिनट का भी period होता था. But now we are all adopting to 1 hour. So your period should be of 1 hour, and for one credit theory paper, you can assign one period every week. So it will complete 15 hours of the classroom interaction or the delivery. But then why, how it is fitting into 30 notional learning hours? Let me explain, which will also be very important when we make the depth and breadth of the syllabi or the curriculum. Now, in each theory class, a new concept is taught and the student is learning something new. But then this is not sufficient. He or she has to learn more as self-learning part, and on an average, it is taken for this much component additional 15 hours. So हर घंटे वो 1 घंटा क्लास में पढ़ रहा है और 1 घंटा घर में पढ़ रहा है. That is what is the depth it should be there. And if your syllabi is so much कि for one class that you dedicate, the student is putting 8 to 10 hours, you are going wrong. So introspect that in this light, it should not be more than 1 hour on the average. हाँ, वो हो सकता है, some students are requiring 1.5 hours, some will be doing in lesser, but on an average, it will be 1 hour. Hope this is clear now. But as we move to the practical, the experiment part, now the practical is dependent on something of the theory which they have already learned. Now this again is a trick which actually, when you see at many syllabi and curriculum, there is a flaw कि practical में कुछ अलग ही चीजें डाल देते हैं. And then the teachers are dedicating time there also for that. Should not be. The practical should go hand in hand with the theory component. So all the theoretical aspects which are there, they are performing of the experiments, taking the readings again, and then analyzing, observing, and making conclusion. That is what should be in the practical component. And this is repetition of already. So जो भी बच्चा कर रहा है, it is all being done there. There is no self-learning happening at home. So all the time dedicated. So obviously it will require all the 30 hours of learning hours inside the class. And that's why for practical, to get 1 credit, there are 2 periods per week. I hope it is clear now to all of you. Yes. So 2 periods per week for 1 credit. So if it is a 2 credit practical course, you'll be giving 4 periods in a week. Fine. Now coming to something new, which is experiential learning, which is missing to a great extent in our older prior to NEP batches, which is internship, industrial visits, field visit. Now here there is experiential learning, and it is given that 1 credit will require even more number of hours to be put up. That is, I will take 45 hours because that becomes perfectly 1 timer, 2 timer, and 3 timer as compared to the theory. So here I'll say that 3 hours per week activity the student has to do. And the same if you are signing MOA with the industry or some other partners, then that should be mentioned. And you should ensure the students are putting this much effort, then and only then they will be giving 1 credit for this. Dr. Evelyn will come to the assessment in detail tomorrow, fine? So let me not go into that, but we'll definitely cover that and you can remind me this question tomorrow. So that is one thing that in terms of the time. But another very important aspect that is a change in NEP is, and we'll try to understand why also for that. The learning hours, what all should be included in these? They are not just the curricular areas where the emphasis till now was there, कि सिर्फ core courses, theory, physics, chemistry, maths, geography, and nothing about the co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Now the credits can be earned with the help of curricular, co-curricular, as well as extracurricular. And now these are the things that you have to see, that can I introduce 1 credit of something which is extracurricular only? Can I have 1 credit paper in 2nd semester, 3rd semester of this? So all that will help you in restructuring of this entire. So NEP is giving you just a broad structure, but what has to be fitted inside, you have to see various aspects and even your regional and local requirement. You cannot have and don't expect, and it should not be coming that there is some NEP structure XYZ university ने बना दिया है and then you are adopting it. Please do introspect from your own local needs and industry requirement. किस तरह के skill courses, what all extracurricular activities and all that you can prepare your student will also depend upon the resources available to you. So all those things you have to see. And then now in this, what all are these component of learning hours? These are routine thing, classroom teaching, lab work and all. But then we'll have to decrease this. Then only we can add. You cannot keep on. You have to look it from the learner point of view, that when you are now adding new things, then the old core courses should be reduced. And here is something that many teachers try to stick, and especially the senior one जो curriculum syllabus बनाते हैं, नहीं 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 ये topic तो बहुत important है, ये topic तो बहुत है, ये नहीं छोड़ना, ये नहीं छोड़ना. And in the ultimately I have also interacted with many of the NEP batch students. You have to be looking at the student specific requirement. So how much time overall they are giving, and then in your own. So don't just look it from your own perspective कि मेरा ये एक कोर्स है इसमें मैं सब कुछ ठूस दूंगी. नहीं, that should not be happening. You have to be looking it from the overall student perspective. So in addition, you have to give activities for experiential learning, performing arts, fine arts, music, handicraft. Now, some will be fitting into school level, some in higher education, and many difference from the subject specific requirements also will be there. Debate, discussion, essay writing, recitation, story writing, celebration of festivals, music performance, self-defense classes, value education classes, career counseling, events, competitions like hackathons, Olympiads, sports, games, physical activity, yoga, life skill based education, employment skills, basic operational skills. So why not? If class 6 student is told about how the fuse and the bulb can be fitted into all those things, or even we used to have those some useful productive work SUPW period, but that was never given the marks. जहाँ पे हमें mending our clothes and all, so all these are the life skills that we have to be preparing in this. Social or community work, adult education, teaching in NGOs, environment related, gender sensitization, NCC, Shramdan, building decoration, vocational education, training, skilling, minor, major research project or other projects, assignments, field visits, industry attachment, and internship and apprenticeship hour. If you can put it either in your summer breaks or in dedicated in one full semester, is something that this is being envisioned. And the students can earn credit also from the SWAM portal, where other universities will be offering or your university is offering, but then it has to be open for all the other. We'll be talking more about this as well. So idea is that why should we integrate? Because जब तक आप credit या assessment के purview में नहीं लाते हो, the students will not take it seriously. So the credit structure and all these are the requirement for the holistic development of the student, because we have seen the outcome of this system where the focus was only on academic access, where rote learning has taken a center stage, and the assessment from the previous 5-10 year question paper, पूरे सेशन में बच्चा पढ़े ना पढ़े 4 दिन रट्टे लगा के they can really secure. Now apart from that, now they need to be imparted some professional skills and the experience to work in the real life scenario in industry or NGOs or other where they develop the other skills which will be helping them to get employed as well as create their own venture as entrepreneurs. So this is the main gist that NEP, and not only NEP, the prior education policy have also been talking about that how this other things are challenging and we need to improve. But what I see this time is a serious effort where all the teachers are getting trained, and that's why this particular program, it was decided it has to be online, so that there is no excuse that I cannot travel to that place or I cannot leave my family and so on. So every teacher in their comfort timings, different centers are giving different timings, should be understanding this. So what are we talking about is we are talking about competency-based education and training and outcome-based learning, where not simply the knowledge, but emphasis on skills and attitudes. And more than 80% people fail even if they have best of the best knowledge, best of the best skills, but if their attitude and especially the lack of learning, relearning, and unlearning, if they are not ready to be lifelong learners, they cannot be excelling in their professional life, which is the need of the hour now. If you look at the global requirements, the change is happening so much and so fast that our students should be prepared towards these attitudes. Now, this slide and the next slide I'm going to show is, please take a screenshot. I have taken it from National Higher Education Qualification Framework document only. So if not that, I will really, all of you should read the National Higher Education Qualification Framework document. That is something which will be, now we'll have to take it for next 30 years. And there is a valid reason in terms of the qualitative improvement in our classroom. So there are two broad requirements that we have to keep. One is, what are the learning outcomes that we have to mention in our curriculum, which are specific to our disciplines or the interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary that you talk about. So they are keeping in mind, once you have decided for this very particular program, there should be physics, there should be chemistry, there should be biology, there should be this paper around the core discipline. But then inside that, what all should come is what is there in this slide. And then apart from that, how you will be also ensuring the generic learning outcomes are embedded in the students. So let me first talk about the subject specific. So in any subject, you take consider of your subject and try to now see what are the curriculum that you are following or making. कई बार होता है औरों ने बना दिया तो हम क्या करें, but even then whatever curriculum is existing, what all you need to know and implement in your classroom. Comprehensive knowledge, coherent understanding, linkages with the, ये चीजें हम करते आए हैं, practical तो वो भी डाल देते हैं. But then we also have to see that skills in areas related to specialization. Now here you try to see in your own subject, what are the students taking that very particular subject in their professional requirement, what skill set they require. Let me take one example, which will be, thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for sharing that NHEQF link, but not the draft. Now it is final one, fine. So you can take the final one, that also is available. So for example, if you are having biology students, then biology students, if they want to go into pathology lab, fine, और वहां पे उनको इंस्ट्रूमेंट से टेस्टिंग करनी है, सपोज यूरिन सैंपल और ब्लड सैंपल, एंड इफ आई गो एंड गिव दैट सैंपल, और एक मेरी साथ में फ्रेंड जाती है, सपोज आई एम हैविंग नो डायबिटीज एंड शी इज हैविंग डायबिटीज, और पता लगा रिजल्ट उल्टा उल्टा आ गया. सो इफ देर इज नो other skills, the experiment not being done cautiously, the labeling part, also you go into minute details of what are the skills required in that industry so that that job can be done in a very proficient manner, even in terms of the how the this particular sample is then discarded, the disposing of, the environmental hazard and all it can create. So can we look into the real work scenario around your subject and try to take the experiments or projects, give them to the, so these are the things which are missing. Also, capacity to extrapolate from what has been learned, translate the concept to real life situation and apply acquired competencies in new or unfamiliar context. And that will come only when you talk about the application, the real life application, and give them some problem solving around those. Share some case studies which they can learn. And itself, if you look at the Corona case study, I think every subject has to learn so much. So we can see that if next time something like this come, in order to save the humanity, we need professionals in all space who will be able to innovatively think and come out with a solution, not with a prior known solution, because there is no prior solution here. In real life, There is always a new situation that one has to encounter, and they should be prepared into this line. Now, coming to this very slide, now this is missing to a great extent in our education system. There are peaks of excellence. There are some teachers who will do their extra effort, but now this is required for everyone. That all these generic learning outcomes you see in your entire 4 year, can you prepare your student, some in first semester, some in second, third, fourth, and so on, and then ultimately map that yes, whether your student is now equipped with complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, communication skills, analytical reasoning or thinking, research related skill, coordinating or collaborating with others, leadership readiness or qualities, learning how to learn, lifelong learner, as I told you, digital and technological skills, multicultural competence, value inculcation, autonomy, responsibility, accountability. If you're not giving them any deadlines to meet any project and all, how that will be evolving? Environmental awareness and action, community engagement and service, and empathy. We don't want engineers who are like machines or robots. We need human beings. And if you recall, the engineering institutions were having only physics, chemistry, maths, or biology. The commerce and management departments, the humanities departments were added. And that's why there is now so much emphasis on multidisciplinary approach. You cannot have a single institution which is just focusing on one particular subject, because the real life requires a mix of all these. And that's why if there are 2-3 institutions who are into different, they should be working upon how they can collaborate and provide that multidisciplinary approach to the student, and as well as between the subjects. Then you see how different subjects, the interdisciplinary approach can be there, and all that has to be done. And now this part, if you see, environment mein humne after Supreme Court ruling, we have added one paper compulsory in the first or second semester. Communication skills we also add, but is communication skills only the requirement of a English or a Hindi or other language teacher? That cannot be ensured. And for that, you have to prepare the student in every class. Whether I'm teaching chemistry or physics or geography or maths or history or anything, if I can have some project work where the students are throughout coming and presenting, can I also not nurture them in the communication skill? Also in the leadership and the collaboration they are doing with each other. So all these things that we have to now innovatively think, and then say that in our curriculum, we have the outcomes which are generic as well as the. So right now there is more emphasis on only subject. Kahin humne sprinkle kar diye paper pe, but then we need to work a lot in integrating all of these in our courses. Coming to the curriculum and courses. Taking these two slides as the base, they are actually the basis of outcome-based education. And if you look at the definition of curriculum is derived from the Latin word currere, which means to run or to proceed. And currere refers to the course of deeds or actions and experiences through which children grow to become mature adults. And it is a continuum. So when you make especially the first year and the second year curriculum, I have seen 80% of the curriculum mapping similarly to the class 11th and 12th. We are not aware about what the school education is doing. The student is coming from the school education to us. We should know what all they have come prepared and try not to replicate, because that will be requiring more time from the student point of view, and in the effort we will not be able to take him to higher. नहीं तो हर क्लास में आप ABCD सिखाते रहो. Many times I have seen teachers arguing, नहीं वो स्कूल वालों ने ढंग से नहीं पढ़ाया. See, we cannot do that. We have to take it in a continuum, and then if you require some pre-classes, that should be before that, so that they can be put up into the same way and taken further. So look, when you design the curriculum with all these aspects, that will be making it better. The policy envisages that the curriculum and pedagogy of our institution must develop among the students a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's country, and a conscious awareness of one's role and responsibility in a changing world. So, if you are given a task of making curriculum of any other country, school education or higher education, which document should you refer? Or for our own country, which document we should refer? It is our constitution. So, in order to design the curriculum, we should ask ourselves 4 fundamental questions. What is the educational purpose? Why am I putting this particular course? If I am telling them these are the topics of economics, will it help him or her to make the finance minister of the country? So you look at what are the requirements of the finance minister of the country, and then what are the theories and the principles. And then if you want to make him or her a pharmacist, then what are the core theoretical area? What are the practical? What are the experiential? So whatever in holistic, whether it is the knowledge or it is skill or it is the attitude, now you see from your program as well as the course specific requirement. And then see what are the educational experiences which can be given and how to organize them. So these two will be putting into your implementation, that is the pedagogy, or which is the art and science of teaching inside the class. And then determination of attainment of purpose, and that's where the assessment comes. So all these are the main thing, but somehow we never are able to infuse that interest in the student. कि ये मैं subject क्यों पढ़ रहा हूँ, क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं? What will happen? So if I ask you that if you have to market your course, आपकी class क्यों ले? Unless or until you are able to convince the student. Now, how to convince them? Try thinking. What all are the professional avenues for the students? Why that should be taken? Why this particular course? Why not the other course? And in this skill now, you see there are so many courses and options and electives we float. I think we all should also be really looking at that part, which should be adjust. नहीं तो पता लगता है पूरा बच्चा सेमेस्टर कर लेता है, ये कोर्स तो मेरे मतलब का ही नहीं था. Now, we should be very clear and we should be able to guide the students through this. And where to derive the educational purpose will be from the constitution of the country, because that is the breathing instrument, and it describes the hopes of the people, aspirations of the people, and ideals of the nation. And we all, the people of India, have solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, democratic, socialist, secular republic. So in our education system, whether it is school or higher, we should be adopting each and everything which prepares. You're not preparing students for their profession. You're preparing the entire citizen of the country, the good human beings for the globe. So who will be ensuring justice, liberty of thoughts, equality, and to promote fraternity. And Article 51A is what we should be all looking. It's not the NEP 2020, it's all the earlier education policy. Everyone talks about this, and we are now making hue and cry about sustainable development goals and all. Let me show you. It'll take you, everyone. You all have read it. Abide by the Constitution, respect its ideals, national anthem, national flag. In our every institution, small program, if we can integrate this, why not? It develops a sense of pride towards our own country. I do it regularly in all my batches of the FDPs. Cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. Defend the country, render national service. So if you see the NSS units in our institutions, they are preparing our students towards that, to right? सबके लिए अगर हो जाए तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. I think that's what will be making us more disciplined. Promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst the people of India. Value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. जो हम multicultural competence की बात करते हैं. So multicultural competence is required at the global level when a MNC of Japan comes and put up its industry in India. The employers will have their own cultural values, and if the team is not able to integrate that, that will not be. So can we make an effort right from, and in our classroom also we have all those multicultural competence available, and we should be respecting each other's religion as well as culture. Protect and improve the natural environment. तो ये natural environment आजकल उसकी बात नहीं है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, all this is there in Article 51A. Compassion for living creatures. Develop the scientific temper for everyone, not only the science students. And if you see, there are so many accidents, and even unfortunately, the science students also. Chemistry में PhD तक कर लेते हैं रट्टे लगा लगा के, but when a birthday party is happening and a balloon catches fire, accident happen, and you just search the news. So many accidents happen because the cheap hydrogen gas is being filled in the balloons. Slightly costlier helium is safe. We are spraying when the cake is there, or usme all the spares have the solvent which will definitely catch fire. And I think 15-20 days back, you must have heard this news. Now the foods are being decorated with nitrogen, frozen nitrogen, which is minus 80 degrees. What will happen if someone eats? A small kid died, उसके stomach में छेद हो गया था by eating that sweet dish which was coated with super freezing nitrogen gas, which was looking very good. Fumes आ रही हैं जी, उससे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है देखने में. But then I think we have failed to develop the scientific temper in all, and even in our science students. We have failed to develop humanism. It's not only for the humanities student, for everyone. In Corona time, we were selling 80 rupees medicine in 80,000 rupees. They are all educated persons. What for education? Just to do the rote learning and theory, everything. The spirit of inquiry, reform, why do we need this? We have to be developing empathy in all. और ये हमारा constitution बोल रहा है, ये NEP नहीं बोल रही है. NEP is re-emphasizing because of the last 2 decades, we have deteriorated as a society so much. Safeguard the public property and abjure violence. हमारी institution में जब elections होते हैं तो कितनी damage होती है. I think if we cannot stop that, what will happen to these students when they go out, become mature, and become the part of the society? Strive towards excellence in spheres of individual and collective activities so that the nation constantly rises to a higher. And what we can see, I think you all can see around you. कहाँ से आ रहे हैं इतने negative, where we are all so selfish in working as an individual? Why don't we develop that culture of a teamwork so that our institution rises and the nation rises? A cutthroat competition, मौका मिले तो दूसरे को उठा के नीचे फेंक दें. Can we not develop the students right from the initial ways that you have to work as a team? Any institution, whether it's the corporate or everywhere, it will be progressing only when we are able to work in collective activities as well. So in order to design the curriculum, we have to keep in mind this outcome-based education, that what all should be integrated. I happen to get my exposure to this when I was associated with AICT for their studio development and many other NEP activities. And there were 7 or 8 books, out of which one chemistry book was there. I was told to analyze it that whether it is as per the outcome-based education. And frankly speaking, I was not aware. And then I read thoroughly about the outcome-based education, which was very first implemented by AICT in our country, and why it was done. Because, and now from last 3 years, from 2021, we are writing, I and Professor Dahiya, who is the former IIT Delhi director, along with Professor Punia, who is now not as vice chairman, but then we are the two-member committee now who are guiding IIT, various IITs and institutions of polytechnics in engineering and polytechnic diplomas and all, to make the books as per NEP 2020 and outcome-based education. And they are translated in around 12 languages. So 2 years we are already through, third year work is in progress. And we devised a template, which again you will see the reflection. I'll not go into that detail here. But then we made the placeholders. We analyzed books में तो सिर्फ theory लिखी थी. And all these missing generic learning outcomes, now how to integrate. So we created placeholders that you have to design these type of activities. And now that effort is going on. And if we take the example of these graduate attributes, which were decided from the 2 slides, at the global level, these are there. National Board of Accreditation is the body which does accreditation for technical institution like NAC for the UGC affiliated, fine. So National Board of Accreditation signed a treaty with Washington Accord, which is the global body, which sees that all the engineering graduates are having these traits. Now, what are these traits? The students, apart from this 1, 2, 3, which most of our institutions were following, but they were lacking on modern tool usage, engineer and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, project management, finance, and lifelong learning. So there were no valid assessment mechanisms which could say that yes, the student has done so much achievement in these traits as well. And that is what the COPO mapping is all about, that in every course, we will make course outcomes. And these are the program outcomes कि 4 साल की बीटेक की डिग्री के बाद ये सारे आपको मैप करने हैं. So every course कहीं पे मे बी 1, 2, 3, 4 हो रहा है, साथ में 10 हो रहा है, किसी में 8th भी आ गया, किसी में 7th आ गया. So you have to design activities as well as assessment so that all of them can be taken, that yes, all of these have been achieved. And based on that, all of you now can recall, after this, UGC also followed the outcome-based education, the model which was called as LOCF. LOCF सबको पता है NEP से पहले, that is the Learning Outcome Curriculum Framework. But in that effort also, what I now analyze is, there was not so much training that we all went into. The committees working at university level, what they did with their own understanding, ना उन्हें ये पता था learning outcome किस तरह से design करने हैं, ना ही ये पता था कि what all attributes they have to be taking into. What they did was the existing syllabi, they just combined. अच्छा, यहाँ से तो explain आ रहा है, explain this, नाम के लिए the student should be able to do this, do this, do this. काम चलाओ, learning outcomes fit कर दिए. Now they have to be done in a very structured format when you're designing curriculum. So based on this, the LOCF had these 15 graduate attributes, and now you analyze. हमने ये batch बाहर भी निकाल दिए हैं. The last batch has passed out this year, fine. But have we been able to focus apart from discipline knowledge into any of these? Or you have NEP में restructure, these are there already. Okay, so communication skills, because these are something which are required for the holistic development of students, and we have to be now not missing this opportunity in the light of NEP when we are restructuring. Please ensure that apart from your subject-specific learning outcomes, you are also adding the generic learning. I'll rather say take it into 2 heads so that consciously you know कि हाँ इसमें से ये हो गया, ये हो गया, ये हो गया, and then that every activity has to be mapped with. Pharmacy education, which is with the Pharmacy Council of India, also has these. So see, pharmacy knowledge is just one thing. thinking abilities, planning abilities, leadership skills, professional identity, pharmacy and society, environment, ethics, communication. So whoever is your regulator of that course, the program outcomes will come from that. Take them, and then in every course, you should see how you are able to achieve all these attributes is something which is outcome-based education. But for that, आई एम टेलिंग यू इतनी सारी चीजें अब हमें ऐड करनी है, तो बेचारे बच्चे को सिलेबाई प्लीज मेक इट लाइट but modern. You cannot keep on having the same 50-year-old syllabi. Look at what the school education has already done, what can be removed, what it's not about just telling the definition rote learning, how it can be really applied and taken, the student taken to the creative level. That is something which is missing, and we have to be working about that. So in order to design the learning outcomes, if you have to design, the very simple strategy is keep the Bloom's taxonomy in mind. We'll talk somewhat more about that. Fine. But then on your own, please search what is Bloom's taxonomy and what are the verbs, action verbs, which are associated with different level. We start from remember, understand, then apply, analyze, evaluate. So आपके पूरे curriculum में कुछ एक दो topics तो create level तक लेके जाओ या evaluate. Don't just be confined कि हमने इतने सारे topic डाल दिए, but सारे remember और understand level पे हैं. That will not be good. We have to be looking into this direction. So when you design this, if a topic is there which is at apply level, you need not write it, because apply will come only after the student has remembered something, understand, and then apply that. So apply what? So then you can use these verbs and then align it with that very particular topic or subtopic. And learning outcome is an exit outcome defined as a visible display of the learning which is measurable at various levels. So if you're lightening any learning outcome, but there is no assessment happening, that learning outcome is of no use. So these are the activities which the learners will be able to perform, and you are able to assess after the completion of teaching learning process in a course or a program. So program outcomes are getting from graduate attributes, as I already shown you. Taking those in mind, different courses will have course outcomes, and you can even go to the unit level or the chapter level. That is what we did at AICT. And every learning outcome must start with an action verb, combine it with your topic or subtopic. You will be able to write the learning outcome. But you should avoid know, learn, understand, or appreciate, because if the student should be able to appreciate, how will you assess that? So learning outcomes should be smart. That is, they have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be attainable, they have to be relatively challenging, and they have to be time bound. So these are the criteria that you have to keep in mind. You cannot have an activity which will take 2 years to complete in a 1 semester course, which is requiring 30 notional learning hours. So all of these are now getting integrated, and you have to keep in mind all these things when you design a curriculum or a syllabi. And then for every semester, you can see for every course what are these, and they have to be then also mapped with the every question assessment. I'll be talking about that in detail tomorrow. So based on this, the teaching learning methodologies have to be learner-centric, ICT empowered, and blended learning, because the same traditional method, you cannot achieve all this, which is taking our classrooms to more quality improvement. So I'll stop my today's delivery now, and I'll be open for some question, and we'll continue this journey tomorrow also in my session, which I'll be taking. So thank you so much for patiently listening, and any questions, please, you can unmute and ask.
There is one question that I'll read out. Meanwhile, others can unmute themselves if they want to ask any questions. This is by Dr. Albin. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question, Dr. Albin Alfonso?
Hi, Babita.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, very fine. Thank you.
I think she's not able to unmute. I'll read out her question.
Yeah.
Can we have clarity on the examination pattern of 40 marks? Are the 15 credits included in the internal evaluation of 40 marks?
I'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, so
What
that is
assessment will be, taking it.
yeah, that's the only question we have. Yeah, there's one more. So LO is cumulative. There's one more question that I'll just read. Any one of you who wants to interact directly with the ma'am, please unmute yourselves and
Yeah,
you
Sadhna Jain can unmute and be more clear on.
Hi, hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask when we are looking at lifelong learning CO, how do we achieve that? Because as you said, they should be measurable, right? While we create these COs and try to map them, we don't really have enough data to understand how can we map the lifelong learning CO for these students.
What is your
So-
subject, Priyanka, if I can be more precise in answer? What subject you teach?
Ma'am, English literature.
इंग्लिश लिटरेचर तो आपसे अच्छी लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग कौन सिखा सकता है?
Ma'am, but like, how do we measure it? There are no ways of measuring it. Once the students are out of college, how do we do that?
No, so it's not that you have to measure the lifelong learning after they have passed out. What are the skill sets that you are ensuring that they will be able to learn on their own throughout their life? That is what is meant. So if you take the methodologies where there is no need of you and they are learning on their own, and if you're able to assess, isn't it a lifelong learning trait? With the teacher, see, we are doing more spoon feeding. And that's why the students are not able to learn on their own. What the life requires now, AI tools तो पहले नहीं थे. जिन्होंने कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग भी कर ली होगी तो AI नहीं. But those who are now learning that and encashing on that are taking the lead. So we have to be making activities, and then, so can you make a group of students and give them different novels or the reading things? Fine. And then come out something. Why not? There are so many. I think we need to really start looking on how to implement and then conduct some conferences where we can present ideas about how we have done it in our subject. We need to form subject specific groups and take it. In chemistry, we have actually evolved many models and we keep on doing various workshops as well. But I will request if many of different subjects, they come further, and I'll be happy to support in terms of the MMTTC certification, all meeting our criteria and all for that.
Thank
So
you so
these are the things that we have to. अब आप बोलो एक collaborative work में करने के लिए, you give them a group project. Leadership will also come. You don't have to give them that, okay, you become the leader. The moment they are, you'll be able to see who is having that leadership trait, isn't it? And don't expect that every student will be a leader. No, the students will have to have different capabilities. In our society, we require all that capabilities. See, unfortunately, in education system, we are giving good grades to the students who are able to rote learn and not good who are creative. एक अपनी कंपनी खोल लेगा वो बेटर है या किसी के जाके यहाँ रट्टे लगा के सेम चीजें कर रहा है? Real life skills are those. So that is what will be done, right? Thank you.
so much. Thank you. Lovely session. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, anyone else, please?
Surabhi Basotia, can we find this document? Where to download it from? Which document are you talking about, Dr.
I
Basotia?
think let me just, I think किसी ने बीच में share भी किया था.
Okay, that is about this is NHEQF.
NHEQF.
That one.
But that is already shared. I don't know which document. Dr. Basotia?
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me, ma'am? I have unmuted myself.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I received the document, ma'am. Dr. Rajesh, I think, had shared a link just
Okay.
after my comment. So I received that. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. Good
Don't
evening,
take
ma'am.
the draft one, take a final one.
Yes,
Go
yes, I
ahead.
have submitted. I have shared the final draft, final also.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I
So
have
please
one
read
question,
that.
madam.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
madam. Actually, our from Maharashtra right now, the Savitribai Phule Pune University has just started this NEP program as per their framework and all these things. We are facing so many problems, Actually, I have attended so many workshops and seminars from the universities for at the national level also. Right now, I am facing one problem regarding that. I just asked to you.
Yeah, please.
There is a OE, that is open basket, something like that. So they have asked us to prepare 2 credit course. 2 credit course. So university has given near about 150 open basket courses. And now what is going to happen with those, and what we have to tell our students, because right now the admission process is going on, and they have now curtailed the courses in the sense, before that we call them the subjects. So instead of 6 subjects, now they have just have the 3: DSC 1, DSC 2, DSC 3, and the rest of the AEC, VLC, IKS, and this open basket and generic elective, like such a courses were there. So I just asked that the rest of these courses, they are having the 2 credits, and the DSC course, they are having the 4 credits course, and even in that, 2 theory, 2 practicals. And here in these 2 credit courses, they are having some courses. I don't think that there is IKS, there is no practical, but the rest of them 2 courses, they are having 1 credit for theory and 1 credit for practicals. So what and how we have to go for that? Because the majority of your university and all this, they have already started this NEP. So I just want to know about this OE, GE, and this IKS and all these courses, 2 credit courses.
See, open basket is the nomenclature given where you have the students can pick and choose anything, but we as teachers have to guide them. If a particular course, what is your subject, Dr. Rajesh?
English language and literature.
English language. So
Yes.
you see that one are the DSCs are the discipline specific. So they will be having in your own subject. But then if you keep the prior NEP से पहले भी जितना syllabus था 2 पेपर का मिला के एक में डाल दोगे, you are not doing justice. So teach less but teach it good first of all in that. And they will be obviously having more credits because you are making them BA in English honors or with or whatever nomenclature. So if it is whichever is major, which is the subject specific, so discipline specific will be having more number of credits. But that is not all. I told you in the holistic development, along with the subject specific, you also have to prepare the students in skills, the Indian knowledge system, the values. तो values के अंदर हमारी जो traditional knowledge है वो भी आ रही है. So in your entire 4 year, you can say that the students can take one Indian knowledge system paper, one of personality development. So let them analyze that and see. And here I will also say, because the skill courses and these vocational courses will be also given in the school education. So like if I talk about digital skill, आपने एक पेपर क्रिएट किया है वर्ड एक्सेल पावरपॉइंट का, but if their student has already done, you can tell them that no, you go higher, go into something which is on AI tools. So you have to now also look at the learners movement, try to interact, और फिर उनकी क्या professional aspiration है. Your entire class is not going to go into newspaper and become editor.
No.
Okay, but उसमें जाना है तो they can, those who are inclined, they can go into the journalism part of that. So maybe you can add that as a skill. Some will go into some other, maybe they are going into e-learning industry, where also there is a language part which is very important. So can there be skills which are combination? तो आपको बिना technology के e-learning में नहीं जा सकता है. So you please interact with your students who are alumni, and that will be helping you design the course and also guide the student कि कौन सा उन्हें आसान नहीं. अच्छा जी, सब में जी एक ग्राउंड का स्पोर्ट में फिजिकल एक्टिविटी इज रिक्वायर्ड, बट देन इफ दे आर टेकिंग इट जस्ट फॉर द इजी वे, दैट इज नॉट अ गुड वे. So you tell the students also about this entire understanding कि ये क्यों किया जा रहा है, not for your easy thing but to prepare you in your own inclined, जिसको जहां जहां जाना है they should be taking that type of combination. And then, but as institution we have to offer them. You cannot have all the students going into journalism.
Yes.
इतनी जॉब कहाँ से आएंगी उसमें? Fine. So that is how we are looking into all those requirements. और ये जो generic skills हैं, I think you will all agree सब्जेक्ट तो कैन बी picked up. अब तो एक minute में you get the
Yes.
information theory and all. But these skills, when you interact with others, you present your ideas, you make powerful presentation. आजकल सारी funding and all as an entrepreneur they lie there, isn't it? So they should
Yes.
be. होता क्या है, वो बच्चे के 3-4 साल निकल जाते हैं, तब तक हमें हम अपनी एग्जाम्पल देखते हैं. जब तक मैंने फर्स्ट क्लास नहीं ली थी, मैं बोर्ड के पास नहीं आई कभी. और कभी तो मैं नोट्स खोल के देख रही हूँ, कभी मैं लिख रही हूँ. आई वॉज नॉट एट ऑल कॉन्फिडेंट, विच आई एम नाउ. But after 20-25 years, do the students have? And that's why they flop. If we can use these 4 years to bring the students near the board and we go away from the board, I think we'll be able to prepare the students.
Yes, yes.
So in these skill courses, you look at the assessment methods which can be, and I'll be talking more about that in my tomorrow's session. Fine.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
There are no more questions.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Hemant, please.
Yes, yes, ma'am. There is a very confusion in credit system. क्रेडिट सिस्टम जैसे कि हम आजकल बड़ा एनईपी का डिजाइन कर रहे हैं सिलेबस, लेकिन कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज में 2+2 क्रेडिट सिस्टम कह रहे हैं, कुछ में 3+1 क्रेडिट सिस्टम है. तो ये इसमें बड़ा कंफ्यूजन सा है. तो एक्चुअल में ये राइट में क्या है इसका?
देखो, देर इज नो क्रेडिट फिक्स्ड कि आपको 3 क्रेडिट का पेपर देना, 1 का देना, 2 का देना. आप 1 के 4 दे दो, 4 का 1 दे दो, whatever. But then overall for every year 40 credits should be there. एक साल को पास करने के लिए in every year 40 credits should be assigned.
But in our university, they have just given the 22 credits per semester. It means for completing 1 year,
तो साल के 40
44
40 is the minimum. 40 is the minimum. Now we are also talking about जो बाहर global उसमें भी है, school education में भी होगा. And once you learn this, you can also guide your school education colleagues that some students who will like to earn more credits, they can do so. कई बार लगता है 4 साल में, इस साल में मैं ज्यादा मेहनत करता हूँ, सेकेंड ईयर में I want to do some internship with the industry and all. So there the earning of credits can be less and I'll be. So all these type are the flexible models that NEP is talking about. But implementation में हमें अब धीरे धीरे बनेगा, एकदम से नहीं आएंगी सारी चीजें. But they are all providing flexibility to the student. Academic Bank of Credit का भी पोर्टल है, where the students can earn credit from different ways, वहां पे डाल के, and they can also encash on that. So these are the changes coming. We gradually will be going into. But yes, 20 credits per semester is minimum. उसके नीचे आप डिग्री में नहीं लेके जा सकते हो. Fine. उनको.
Ma'am, this is Dr. Rajeshwari. Can I ask one question?
Yes, please. Yeah, please.
I'm first of all, I want to say sorry. I may have missed this point, so you may have to repeat it. So you described really elaborately about the 15 hours time that we need to give for one point, right? So what role does the tutorial have in this scene is my question. Did I miss this? Did you mention this?
No, I did not talk about the tutorial, but tutorial component you can again take it as a practical equivalent.
Okay.
Okay. Because there is no self-learning happening from the student point of view. So you cannot give 1 credit for the less time devoted by the student.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions or anybody would like to interact? Okay, so you will get more time to interact with ma'am. Meanwhile, you can assimilate more about NEP and interact with her tomorrow as well. So now I have this privilege and the opportunity to present the vote of thanks to our dear Professor Vimal Rar. I would say thank you very much for this comprehensive lecture on curriculum development, pedagogy, and assessment. You made things so simple, and for us, it's like for all the participants, I would say that everything has come from the horse's mouth. She's herself a part of the development of curriculum. So whatever you are listening and whatever guidance we are getting, it is definitely the right guidance that we are getting. And we're very fortunate to have this sort of an interaction with her, and we are able to understand NEP in a much better way. Very important thing, ma'am, that you said, which I really liked, is that we all should keep in mind while framing syllabi to keep it light, keep it modern, and we must update the syllabi from time to time as society is changing, needs are changing. So syllabus must also change, but it should not be overloaded. And how to apply Bloom's taxonomy in your own subjects to take at least some of the subjects to the level of analysis, understanding, not leaving them at the learning level itself, rote learning level itself. So this is somewhere I feel that whatever we learn, how to relate it with our own courses and how to build on that and prepare ourselves better for the coming session. For that, I'm very grateful to you. And on behalf of all the participants, I would like to extend a very warm thanks to you for this enlightening session. And we'll hear more from her tomorrow. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Babita, for again helping in this NEP batch. It was so many batches that you are helping us. So it's a good team that we have formed with you. And thank you all, dear colleagues who have joined in this NEP batch. And we all are looking for your constructive feedback. कहीं पे कोई technical issue आ रहा है, do write in the feedback form. My team will try to uh, fix that up. Okay, and if not, then you all have my phone number also. Call नहीं करना, please WhatsApp कर देना. I will take a screenshot and put it to my team and ensure that there is no issue faced. And then I wish you all the very best for the remaining part of the day. I think वहाँ तो इंडिया में तो अब रात के 8 हो गए. So all of you do take healthy dinner. हमारे लिए भी तो holistic सारी चीजें होनी चाहिए ना. And it's not only the training. So do keep a smile on your face, and that is something you should definitely carry in your class. क्लास में जब वो बच्चे अगर क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ पाते ना टीचर से, so that is something where the learner centric model is not there. So I will specially request all of you to keep a smile, and I'm looking for smileys coming in the chat, the virtual ones with the real one on your face. And do enjoy a good healthy dinner with your family. I'm going to have lunch with my family. I'm with my brother's family. So good night everyone, and
Good night,
see you
ma'am.
tomorrow again.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank
We
you.
also wish you a great time there.
Thank you. Some time out. For ऐसा कुछ तो
Sure.
yeah, definitely.
Good night,
Sure.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.